Whoa. Hello, everybody. Hey there, hi there, ho there. How's everybody doing today? Oh my god, where's chat? Where are you? Where are you? I found you. Okay. At the end of the stream last time, Thought Knight said, imagine if Luxander played Dark Souls. Yeah, that would be funny. Hello, hello. I am lost my color. Good reason to donate today. That's true. Donate, get your fun colors. Sup, nerd? I just finished stuffing my face with a fruit and grain bar. So, just gonna be picking that out of my teeth for the next 15 minutes. Just needed to get some energy in my body before the show started. Ho there, are you talking to me? Yeah, of course I'm talking to you, mama. You specifically. Yep, doing crime as per usual. Nikki in the YouTube chat says, reminds me I still have to watch the House of the Dragon finale. You do have to watch it. It's mandatory. If you're a fan of Luxander, watching House of the Dragon is mandatory. It's not actually true, but it would be nice. Just got off the phone with the doctor to get on the hair removal wait list. Only 5 years. Oh my god. That is insane, Drea. Oh man. I know it's hard to get hair removal done, like, by a decent team of people and also not expensive. Yes. Welcome in. We have some things that I do actually plan to talk about today, but today's going to be another one of those, like, fairly open streams. Fairly open, because I do want to talk about Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, who has been appointed Kamala's VP pick. I think he's pretty cool. We've got some fun stuff to talk about with him. And some people are transvestigating Dylan Mulvaney the other way around. Like, people are like, oh, I guess she was assigned female at birth, and then her parents transitioned her to male, and now she's transitioning back. Like, okay. Interesting. Anyway, those are kind of the only things that I had ready today. So if there's anything else that anybody recommends... I know there were a couple other things in stream recommendations channel, but I didn't think that most of them were fitting for, like, a segment. Yeah, like... I feel like as someone who is only, like, on the cursory edges of being a furry, I'm not sure if covering the sudden passing away of the owner of Fur Affinity, I'm not sure if that makes sense for the channel. Google is a monopoly, apparently, which is interesting, but I'm not sure if that's something that is worth, like, really going in for, like, in depth here. Excuse me, oh my gosh. I'm just kind of browsing, seeing what else is in here. Stuff about fucking Supreme Court Justice Thomas, like, I don't care. ProPublica article about how Marjorie Taylor Greene had a voter registration portal. I request more One Oasis Left videos, please. Those conversations give me healing. I've been thinking about, like, yeah, wow, I haven't really done much for One Oasis Left in a little bit. I went to the garden today to water and to harvest some stuff. Right now, the garden is really giving mostly peppers, like hot peppers. I ended up making a jar of jalapeno hot sauce, and then I have several habanero peppers right now. I have some, what I believe are Thai ornamental chilies, and those I'm probably going to dehydrate and then chop up and then make chili oil out of, something along those lines. I did recently harvest a bunch of basil, and I made pesto chicken, which was really yummy. But, like, I just feel like I haven't had much to say on One Oasis Left. So if there are any specific requests for videos that can go on the other channel, I'm open to it. I don't think I'm gonna do stream videos and then post them on the other channel anymore. I think if I post videos on my second channel, which is, like, the survival skills channel, then I'm gonna go record them, like, outside and not here. So, yeah. If there's any particular requests, feel free. Do you have a favorite pepper? I love serranos. I mean, jalapenos have a really great flavor and a good amount of spice. There is like a lot of really beautiful flavor in ghost pepper. And like every time I buy something that's ghost pepper flavored, it fucking sucks. Because it has like an iota of jolokia pepper in it. It like advertises that it has it advertises that it has ghost pepper in it, but it's like, oh, that's they just put a little pinch in there, and mostly it's a bunch of cayenne and chipotle, which are like good, but they're not fucking ghost pepper. It really feels like false advertisement to me, because if I buy something ghost pepper, I think the problem is that ghost pepper is now a term for like it's a marketing term that means extra spicy instead of like what I want, which is the flavor of ghost pepper. Okay? Anyway, hit the like button. This is the opening part of the show. We're just going to talk about whatever. I decided that a generic title of the show was going to play better than actually trying to make a specific title about like Dylan Mulvaney or whatever. I just felt like that's probably not going to play as well. Today I was eating edamame with spicy Korean pepper sauce on it, and then I drank the sauce and ate the chilies at the end because apparently I desired pain. Masochism. Habaneros taste amazing. I sorrowfully do not agree. I think they're gross. But it's not because they're spicy, it's because I just don't like the flavor. I request that you go looking for a roadkill bear. I did just see an article today about how apparently bears are coming back to Kansas, and I was like, what the fuck? No, please don't. Yeah, okay, so apparently black bear sightings are increasing in Kansas. And they used to live here. Like, it used to be part of their natural habitat, but they just don't really live here anymore. So typically whenever people tell me, oh, look out for bears if you're going to go out hiking or camping or anything, and I'm like, we don't have bears here. But apparently there have been increasing spottings of bears here, black bears specifically. And I'm moving somewhere with way more bears. Yeah, if you don't want bears, I got bad news about Oregon. I don't care. Like, it's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just funny. Like, I usually just say, like, we don't have bears here. We don't have bears here. And then here we go. Ghost peppers are low-key dangerous. The spice is so high. Are they? I mean, we're way past ghost pepper at this point. There's like the Carolina Reaper, there's Pepper X. There's also peppers that are even hotter than the Pepper X. They just haven't been around for long enough to be like official, you know? Could have named the stream Dylan Mulvaney as a man for the extra chud engagement. True. I couldn't figure out, yeah, like, sometimes we use clickbait here, you know? Ghost peppers are commonly used in chemical weapons. Well, okay, anything with a sufficient amount of capsaicin in it. You could probably use habaneros in chemical weaponry, like spray it on someone's face, see how it goes. It's not going to be good. If you don't like bears, beware the Pride Parade. True. Isn't ghost pepper like 4 million Scoville units versus jalapenos 6K? It depends pepper to pepper. Yes, jalapeno is way less spicy. And like ghost pepper is spicy. I'm not denying that, but it tastes so good. Insane. Ghost peppers are fine unless you have some other health condition where you shouldn't have that level of spice, of which there are many. Yeah, like I think it can freak you out enough that if you have a heart condition, it can spark your heart condition or whatever. Why are there more bears? That's a great question. Why? I've had ghost pepper salsa and it didn't seem that bad, but maybe it was a mix of lesser peppers. Yeah, I think that that's typically because it gets mixed with tomato and like other stuff in there. Why? Why? Black bears are typically sighted in the southeast and southwest corners of Kansas due to those areas being in close proximity to established black bear populations in nearby states. Presently, wildlife experts say we are not aware of any resident bears living year-round in the state at this time. Almost all of our confirmed bears have been yearlings and documented May to July, when that particular age class separates from their mom and disperses from their native home range. Confirmations outside of these 3 months have been very rare, and no cubs have been documented in modern times. Okay, so it's just like they're ranging out and finding their own territory. And they dip into Kansas a little bit. Yeah, okay, we're getting some more shout-outs. Ghost pepper salsa being so delicious. It is. 57 people in here, 38 likes. I would love it. And it would help the show if you hit the like button. Very much appreciated. It's quick and it's free and it immediately helps the show. I don't like Reaper or Scorpion because they taste bad. I am imagining that they would taste bad. Isn't there a pufferfish dish that can kill you that people eat like it's a delicacy somewhere? I think that, yeah, certain poisonous things are delicacies sometimes. Like, if you cook it enough, then it will, be less poisonous or something. I'm not really sure. I do know that pufferfish is illegal here in the US. I hate how people will be like, LOL, you can't handle heat when you have a physiological reaction. Like like if you're sweating and that's a physiological reaction, it's like, I like the heat. I'm tolerating the heat. Just have a physiological reaction to it. It's not a big deal. Ghost pepper has a high acute toxicity level? How? It's just a capsicum. Literally all of these different peppers are just sweet bell peppers that have been bred to be spicy. So I don't know how, like, ghost pepper could uniquely have a toxicity level that wouldn't also be applicable to, like, any other capsicum. The pufferfish has to be cut in a certain way to avoid poisoning. Ooh. Yeah, pufferfish has to have the poison gland removed. I'm so oversensitive to spicy food, it's embarrassing. I mean, this is the curse of being British, I think. Unless you're Daniel Radcliffe, apparently. You've seen Daniel Radcliffe on Hot Ones? He just knocked it out. Oh, gosh. Imagine stuffed peppers, but it's a habanero that's been bred to be extended to jalapeno size. That would be fun. Would be yummy. I think poblano peppers are commonly, maybe not commonly, but if you want to make a giant jalapeno popper, you do it with poblano peppers because they're so big. What's up, Oxpepper? Pecker says, JD Vance literally said people would have a beer with me because I like to drink beer. The complete and utter lack of riz. And we're going to get into it in more detail later because, we have this news about Kamala's VP pick. Tim Walz seems like a really chill dude. We will talk about him, and we will talk about the joke that he made at JD Vance's expense. Yes. And I guess that'll be an opportunity for us to talk about JD Vance a little bit because I don't really talk specifically about electoral politics that often. Like, as far as, we talk about it on stream and it's whatever, but we don't really post it to the main channel because that content doesn't do as well. So yeah, we will talk about the utter lack of, like, Kamala and Tim Walz both are likable people, right? And that's like the biggest difference, is that they are likable people. I made a TikTok about Matt Walsh throwing a bitch fit about Walz making that joke. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, suddenly you guys are so concerned with, I don't even know what to call it. Like, the right will make jokes about, like, haha, you're a bleeding heart liberal. Haha, you actually care about people. Haha, trans people are disgusting or whatever. And then as soon as a joke is made at their expense, they're like, I'm a baby. Don't make fun of me. Don't call me weird. It's like, wow, this is the world we live in. Yeah, I'm planning to, Charlotte. I will. It's crazy Harris and Walz are only 6 months apart in age. I think that makes perfect sense because Black women are eternal youth forever. Have you noticed that? Like, Black women just be staying young forever. It is sort of a birthday boy syndrome. Yeah, a little bit. I would not call Kamala likable. Well, she has charisma. She's willing to, like, laugh. She is, I don't know, she's not stuffy. She's not fucking Biden. Ultimately is what it comes down to. I'm gonna have to get water very soon. I drank so much water earlier today, and I still have a bunch, but I feel like I'm gonna go through a lot. I know eating physically hot food / drink too often can increase your risk of mouth and throat cancer, but chili doesn't actually produce heat, so I doubt it'd have the same effect. No, I don't think it would. It only makes you think that things are hot, but they aren't. They are really not. Still getting used to having glasses. Hey, does anybody know, I saw someone mention in my group chat earlier that, like, someone's pedo-jacketing Demon Mama right now. Does anybody here know about that? In connection to this whole, drama. Oh, shit, I didn't take my fucking second Ritalin for the day. I meant to do it earlier. I'm not gonna do it now. It's, like, way too late in the evening for me to do that now. But, oh, man. Anyway, in connection with this whole Xander Hall kerfuffle, her smile creeps me out. I always feel like we should be attentive when we find ourselves being critical of women. Like, because I think that a lot of this happened back in 2016. Jesus Christ, we are all so old. West Side Tyler, thank you, Ox. Like, I think that a lot of this whole, like, well, I just don't like her about Hillary Clinton. Like, there were a lot of very valid criticisms of Hillary Clinton. You will not catch me saying otherwise. However, I think that we have a tendency to be hypercritical of women for vague reasons and just like, oh, I don't like her, you know, or oh, she has a creepy smile, or oh, she looks weird. I try to be careful if I feel like, oh, this, I don't like the way that she looks, or I don't like how she comes across. I'm not saying that my feeling of that is invalid, but that it's worth it to be more critical of my perception in those cases. Can someone summarize the Xander Hall thing? In summary, Xander Hall pursues conflict and drama with other streamers. He took issue with Keffels. He wanted to expose the information about Keffels. I think it was specifically the information about Keffels scamming with her GoFundMe. He wanted to blow up that information before anyone was ready. He kind of freaked out. He kind of melted down. And this was way back in December. A lot of he tried to drag in his friends to basically like, he was like, I want to drop this nuke on Keffels. My channel is going to fail if I don't. Like, just a lot of really intense shit that caused some of his friends who are also streamers to distance themselves from him. And then he's been critical of those people publicly recently. And it has come out that he also was abusive toward his editor and that he wished death upon Keffels. And like, I mean, he said like, I need to stop her heart. Like, he said some really crazy shit in private, and like seems to have had like a mental health meltdown. And a lot of us are really concerned because he is not in therapy and doesn't seem interested in therapy. So yeah, basically, too long didn't read. Xander Hall has mental health issues. He is a chronic bridge burner. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else I can add without going into extensive detail. I'm part of the Demon Mama community and have been for a long time, and it wouldn't be the first time someone tried to pedo jacket Demon Mama. Yeah. So if and for the person in the chat who doesn't know what pedo jacketing is, it's when you accuse someone of being a pedophile. You're like, you're putting a jacket on them that looks like they're a pedo, you know? So if you insinuate, like, I've been doing it to people sometimes lately, because here's the thing. Every time there's a transphobe in my comments who says something about, oh, you're putting these kids on puberty blockers and they're not going to be fertile anymore. I'm like, why are you thinking about the fertility of children, you fucking creep? That's my new move. Because they keep accusing us of, like, sexualizing children. Like, really? What is sexualizing children more than imagining that they're not going to be fertile anymore? Fucking creepy behavior. So yeah, that's pedo jacketing, though. I know that, yeah, Westside Tyler has a beef with White Leaf streamers as a sphere. I think he said that the whole White Leaf network needed to be taken down, basically. Like, nebulous threatening commentary. Cool. I just wanted my own cool website, but apparently I'm caught up in this now. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, Eric. It sounds like a kind of crisis, and it's leading to unsafe behavior and bridge building on loop. Excuse me. I have not heard of Kyle Caroza. I don't think so. Yeah, their comeback to us calling them weird is always something about the genitals of trans kids, which is not doing them any favors. Right. This one person in my comments recently tried to say that I was a creepy pedo because I was obsessing about the genders of children after I accused them of obsessing over children's fertility. Like, those things are not comparable. Even if I were to grant that I am obsessed with children's genders, which I'm not, but it's like, okay, the things that I'm talking about are like kids being able to cut their hair or grow their hair out or dress however they want, and having access to medicine that will give them time to think about things, as opposed to you literally thinking like, what if these children can't give birth or like can't get someone pregnant? Like, those are completely different avenues. There's a Venn diagram somewhere and it's two separate circles. Later clue. Yeah, we're going to be going for hopefully about 3.5 hours from now. So if you can come back later, that's about how much time we'll have today. Westside is harping on Gayfesh a lot. Oh, I know. He said that he wanted to dox Gayfesh and to punch him in the face. So, like, basically saying threatening shit about my friend. Uncool. Also claims that Demon Mama broke privacy laws in the Zan nuke. I don't know how that could be in breach of privacy laws. I don't think there are laws that protect, like, direct messages as, like, a private correspondence that you're not allowed to share screenshots of. This is not supposed to be a drama bomb stream. Sorry, y'all. That was not the intention. What is this? Oh, this video that you just sent me doesn't have a timestamp, kitty. Oh, 2:10. Okay, wait, what is this? I don't normally do reactions to this stuff, like, live. I try to... See, this is what... I think this is part of what got Zan into this situation in the first place, is apparently... So, a Zan stan... What a fucking great term that I just invented. A Zan stan came into my comments earlier today, and apparently they were haranguing Xanderhall for, like, over a month. Xanderhall's community was trying to get him to talk about Vosh. Oh, Zan talking about DM. Okay, yeah. Like, I'm not saying I won't watch it, but this is the thing that got goofed, is that apparently, like, Xanderhall wanted to have a private conversation, or even just like he maybe wanted to do a stream with Vosh about Vosh's criticisms of Biden. But what ended up happening is that his stream chat kept pushing him, which, like, why would you do that? I think it's creepy, weird behavior to be like, oh, well, you're friends with Vosh. Why don't you do something about this? Why don't you do something about how doomer Vosh is being? And, like, admittedly, yeah, Vosh was being pretty doomer. I just watched Vosh's video about Tim Walz. Apparently Vosh has been not doing well himself the last few months, just feeling like an absolute crushing certainty that Trump was going to win because Biden fucking wasn't going to be able to pull. And so yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense that he was being pessimistic in the content. But yeah, apparently Xanderhall's community was, like, pressuring Xanderhall to address Vosh. And he did address Vosh on stream briefly, and then that's what came back around to Vosh, and then Vosh was like, why, like, all these people who act like they're my friend are just not. But yeah, so I'm willing. We can do I'm not doing, like, a segment right now. Also, I made a video about Xanderhall, and it got, like, 7,000 views so far, and Zan has not blocked me on Twitter. I'm assuming because he does not give a shit about me or my opinions. And he probably hasn't seen the video. So... I don't think that he's gonna know, like, that I said anything about him. And we're not friends, so he's not gonna care about my opinion. Long live hydration, that's true. How's the gym stuff going today? I did cardio, got 3.75 miles and 30 minutes on the elliptical. Nice. I just answered the original question about Demon Mama getting pedo jacketed. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'm curious about this. Hydrate or dihydrate. True. Okay, so Kitty said around the 2 hour 10-minute mark. Okay.
Good segment? Hell yeah.
God shoot me if I ever ask if that was a good segment after I finish the segment. God.
They really, like, flubbed this entire culture war thing, didn't they? They really fucked up. Just jumping on this lady claiming she's trans, and now they've all gotten proven wrong, and they're like, Now they have to maintain that they don't want trans, or not trans, cis women with DSDs competing, which is a really losing point, I think. There's no point in—
So someone in chat says, can you please address the things Demon Mama said? Demon Mama presented Discord DMs showing you being straight up abusive towards Cherry. Cherry claimed you didn't pay for any surgery of hers and that you saying so was a lie. There were DMs showing you asking for Keffel's address so you could beat her to death and kill her orbiters. Demon Mama claimed you were literally threatening to kill your family and yourself on a VC. So that's what somebody just said in the chat.
Doing that now, Secret Synth, especially with the stuff that's coming out about Demon Mama each passing day. She's having a lot of bad stuff, way worse stuff, leak about her anyway, so I'd rather people just have their fun with that. And then on top of that,
rude.
Usually when you're being lied about, it's best to just let them keep doing that until they've run out of steam, because then they've given you all the rope they need. Well, they've given themselves all the rope they need to hang themselves. A big one is Cherry claiming I didn't pay them when they can't nuke the receipts from me paying them. They can nuke DMs. They nuked all their DMs with me, but Cherry can't nuke the payment receipts from when I sent them their pay. That's something they can't make go away. They can't unexist that, and so once that lie gets proven wrong, oh, it already has. I posted the transactions even after they stopped working for me. But once I post all of the receipts from me paying them over the last few years, and they're proven wrong on that, it's gonna be like, okay, DM, what else is going on? You know? Yeah. I'm excited for that, but I'm just gonna give it time. There's no rush.
I mean, yeah, I did not think that Zan was gonna have any other response to this besides just like, well, they're lying. And it's like, yeah, but we saw the receipts. We saw you flipping the fuck out and spamming Cherry and cussing at her and like cussing her out, and he paid Cherry less than they were owed, by the way. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that he paid like $500 of the like $2,000 plus that he owes them. Yeah, so Kitty Tick said that this part addressing DM goes on for like another 2 minutes. I'm curious what he thinks he has on Demon Mama, or like, yeah, someone said that there were, I guess, really old tweets that people were digging up from Demon Mama that they were using to pedo jacket her. Like, you have to be highly suspicious anytime. Like, just like I said a minute ago that you need to be suspicious anytime someone is like, you know, oh, I just think that this female politician is weird and unlikable and I don't like her. You know, you have to be, like, aware of that. You also have to be aware dramatically more than usual if a trans person is accused of being a pedo. Because that's, like, it's the go-to. So you need to put on more skepticism instead of less when that is happening. Okay, so yeah, Kitty says that there's a little bit more here.
To respond to drama like this, especially when so few people in my audience seem to really care enough, really, to just be mad, you know? It feels like this is such a continuation of the Keffels drama that everyone around here already didn't really care. Shit is coming out about DM where I haven't really paid attention to this whole thing.
He has a little scroll thing that's kind of cool.
Westside Tyler found tweets from Demon Mama's partner talking about having a ton of Shotokan on their phone. And this was like back when Demon Mama was with this person.
Is Shota like the opposite of lowly? Or, I mean, it's like lowly but with men? Because I feel like I've heard that basically before.
apparently. So interesting. This was before like having a big platform or anything too. So they were it was before, you know, knowing better than to admit that kind of thing, I guess. And so people dug up like old comments about having not Demon Mama having a ton of Shotokan, but Demon Mama's partner having it. So
Yeah, Fawn did used to do Shota art. Yeah, I know that.
that's pretty weird. And there was another tweet about like, I don't remember exactly what the details were of the tweet, but it was pretty bad. I heard about Tyler. Did he ask you for a debate or convo? I think he did ask for a convo in my Discord, but I haven't seen the message. People were telling me about it, though. I'm not very good with Discord. I'm kind of a boomer with it, so I need to, like, look at my... I guess it would be in, like, my pings in my Discord.
Yeah, so it turns out that sometimes people who have issues with things that happened to them as a kid, sometimes they express that in their art. I didn't... like, I am aware that sometimes people make art to help process things that were happening to them as a kid. And also, like, I am personally of the opinion that, like, art is not really a problem. I know that this is not, like, a popular opinion, probably, that, like, okay, obviously there's a harm with child, like, actual photos of children in those kind of situations, right? I don't really understand what the harm is in drawings. Like, it's a whole genre, the whole barely 18 thing or whatever. Even on, like, actual porn websites, the, like, this woman is in her early 20s, but she looks like a teenager, and, like, yeah, that is a thing that is fairly common for people to be into, so I don't really get it. Like, I am a materialist, so I want to know where the harm is. I don't think it's her ex-partner. I think it's one of her current partners. I'm not sure, though. How is that anything on Demon Mama either way? Yeah, like, if your partner made art way before you started dating them, or, like, earlier in your relationship, and it's, like, again, it's private, like, I just don't understand what the harm is. The fear is that it leads to hurting actual kids, which I guess makes sense. Okay, so we know, because we can see it happen, it's sexual repression that causes people to harm children. Like, priests who are not allowed to have sex, they're not allowed to get married or whatever. Repression is what causes people to hurt kids. We don't see it's like, it's not a slippery slope situation where, like, looking at drawn pictures leads someone to hurt kids, you know? It's strange trying to delegitimize someone by not attacking them directly, but instead vague post about the partner of the person. Yeah. Eric in the YouTube chat says, as a victim of CP, IDK, how people actually claim drawings are the same level of harm. IDK, it's complex, but not even close. One actually hurts people. One is drawings of stuff. Yeah. Sam says, I think more people have a visceral disgust reaction to seeing it, but they don't want to talk about how a huge amount of grown men are very attracted to teenagers. Right, yeah. And, like, that is a problem on its own, but I don't really get when people get up in arms about drawings. Like, if anything, I want people with paraphilias to have a healthy outlet for their paraphilia, you know? Like, especially if they're like, I know that it would be bad to do this to an actual child, therefore I am trying to find an outlet so that I can have a healthy place for this feeling to go. Like, I just don't get it. And, like, yeah, so often people who are victims of CSA might express something about that in their art, which I thought might have been the case for this thing about Demon Mama's ex or whatever. Repression plus exposure, very similar to addiction in that sense. we're not gonna stay on this convo for like I think that it's very silly for Zan to be like, there are actual screenshots of you having a fucking crazy meltdown, and then you're just gonna like snipe at Demon Mama's partner vaguely. Like, I don't think that Zan has any credibility anymore, but his audience, as evidenced by people being in my comments, like his audience doesn't really give a shit. They didn't watch the videos that exposed him. So yeah, like, as dangerous as I think Xander Hall is, he's gonna keep doing his thing. He's gonna keep doing a 90,000 subscriber channel and probably gonna keep growing and continuing to like not have any real friends and burn bridges and not actually get his shit together. It's fine. Is he trying to do that to devalue Demon Mama? Yeah, he's basically saying, well, Demon Mama tried to expose me, but actually she's being exposed. Which, like, that doesn't mean that any of the criticisms she made of you are invalid. It's called deflection. I mean, really, it's called Darvo. It's called deny, accuse, reverse victim and offender. Like, he's denying that he did anything that he is accused of doing, and then he's reversing it and saying, actually, Demon Mama is the one who is bad. Zan's community won't care. They're there for vibes. Yeah, sure. They're there for drama. That it seems to me like that's what they're there for. But, you know, I think we're all guilty of doing drama every once in a while. Like, it's crazy how much of an incentive there is to do drama. You know, I posted my video about the Olympics and like people speculating that that lady was trans, and that video got like literally 1/10 as many views as my video that I just posted this week about Xander Hall and his meltdown and shit. Like, there is an incentive, a financial incentive, in fact, to talk about drama. And in some ways, it's like easier than talking about serious politics stuff. Like, it is less psychic damage, in my opinion. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. Oh man, the GoFundMe is doing pretty well. Currently, the GoFundMe is set to 10,000, and we've raised $7,700, I believe. What happened in the last 9 minutes? We started talking about Shota. I dipped from his community as soon as he started drama content. Yeah, it's just kind of exhausting. It's not something that I want to do all the time. It is a little boost to the channel to occasionally talk about, you know, what is going on with people, what are they doing, what are the conversations people are having, if there's a specific beef or something, you know. But it's certainly not like a habit that I want to be in. I'd rather talk about things that I actually care about. I basically always try to avoid drama, but then everyone I watch covers the same thing and my distraction platform is tainted. Yeah. can we talk about how annoying phone calls are? I am actually, I've changed a little bit. I almost kind of prefer phone calls just because I don't like direct messages, and I prefer being able to have access to tone. I used to have a lot of problems with phone calls. Drama can be entertaining and thoughtful if you do it right. However, people tend to sensationalize a lot to get clicks. Yeah, that's basically. Whenever I weigh in on a drama, I usually wait until a bunch of stuff has dropped. You know, I don't really want to make content ongoing throughout a drama. But it's like, okay, all of this content has dropped over the course of however long, and I'll talk about it. And then I usually do one video about a given drama, and then we don't revisit it until like several other things happen, maybe after a few months. But it's pretty normal for me to, like, I talked about the Keffels swatting thing when it originally happened, and then I very recently talked about the Keffels GoFundMe scam. And that's the only times I've talked about Keffels. There was a drama like 2 years ago when Vosh said that J.K. Rowling needed to sit down and shut up, and I covered that because I was like, actually, I completely understand what Vosh was saying here, and you all are being silly. And then, yeah, like, the couple of other dramas that I've participated in, I don't drag them out. I like phone calls for personal stuff, but I wish my doctor would message me to tell me my bill is $1,000 instead of making me respond to that verbally. Fair. Have you considered going the XQC/Aiden Ross route? They seem to be pretty successful. The only thing I know about Aiden Ross is that he literally sniffed Andrew Tate's chair. That's literally... And I guess recently he gave Trump a Cybertruck. Are you still playing guitar? I fell out of the habit for a really long time, but I've picked it up again this past couple weeks. I need to get my fingers back. Yeah, I'm gonna need more water soon. I feel like you are really good at dipping your claws into the drama at times, but mostly staying in your own realm. It is very dignified. Most often because it's because it involves friends of yours. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it involves people that I know personally. Sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I try not to get involved. I mean, it's not like I try not to. It's like I don't want to get involved. And then I will often do a recap after things have basically died down. I hate the chair thing. Now there's going to be a bunch of conservative dweebs trying to flood the scent kink like they're defending it. Oh no. Did you see the JKR mold gate? So apparently there was a higher quality picture going around, and it's not mold, it's wallpaper. Like, it's a specific wallpaper that has, like, trees or something on it. Otherwise, I would have been all over it, y'all. This is why I wait. Like, I don't immediately jump on shit and cover it, like, as it's happening very often, because everybody's like, oh, J.K. Rowling's castle has black mold in it, but then, no. There's a higher quality picture somewhere, and it's very obvious that it's not black mold, it's just wallpaper. Thank you, Charlotte, for the gifted tier 1 sub to Kitty Tick. Said, your name was still white. Very bothersome. Very bothersome. Yes. Problème. As usual, if we hit $100 in the stream, I will debase myself, remove my sweet Luxander merch hoodie, and show you what my progress at the gym is looking like right now. I'm in the middle of a cut. A cut is so hard, you guys. Ooh, also, good night, Sam. Also, apparently, there's, oh no, my brain. Okay, so I just watched a Kurzgesagt video, and apparently, the, you know the whole thing about how activity levels impact how many calories you burn in a day? Apparently, there is not sufficient evidence at this point. Like, there's new evidence basically showing that people have a static amount of calories that they burn. And if you're not active, your body is still burning the same amount of calories. It's just doing it by, like, creating inflammation in your body and stuff. So apparently, working out and doing cardio and stuff don't change how many calories you burn in a day. It changes, like, how much inflammation you have in your body. So exercise is still good for you, because if you're exercising, then at least your body's not doing all this extra, basically, stress stuff. But it does mean that, yeah, like, it's hard to get enough protein. So I'm doing a cut right now where I'm going and I'm lifting weights 4 days a week. But I'm, like, since I've seen that Kurzgesagt video, I'm, like, switching to, I'm not eating more to compensate on those days. So yeah, I'm now on, like, a pretty specific calorie restriction. And also I have, apparently my LDL was starting to creep up there, my bad cholesterol. So I am also trying to change what I'm eating, which is beneficial, because the kind of stuff that you want to eat when you have high LDL is, like, stuff with a lot of fiber in it, which means you're eating more vegetables, and that can make you feel more full, even if you're, you know, you're not eating as much as far as caloric energy intake. I've heard exercise is good for literally everything except weight loss. Yeah. Does that mean it'll be harder to lose weight? It just means that you have to pay more attention to what you're eating than what you're doing if you're trying to lose weight. Is that why I only started getting chronic pain after quitting my very physically active job? Maybe. You could try to incorporate some exercise and see if it helps. I squatted a 200-pound person the other day, and I do 185 pounds 3x12 on leg day. Nice. After not doing legs for a long time, I'm just now starting to get back to the bar of 45 pounds. So I have a long way to go with my legs. Us laborers get exercise from moving for 8 hours a day. That's how I've justified not working out. Yeah. Yeah, you're getting movement, which is, you know, one of the important things. Lost all the excess weight through diet changes alone. Yep. Just gotta focus on what you're eating. Get salads, eat some more carrots and shit. And then, yeah, if you're working out like me, I'm trying to build muscles and lose fat at the same time, or at least maintain my muscles. So it means I also need to, I also need to eat a lot of protein. So I'm trying to eat a lot of protein and a lot of fiber right now. And also, like, not eat too much. Did I just... Okay, I didn't smudge my glasses as bad as I thought. Where does the idea that exercise burns calories come from then? Was it just a hypothesis? I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's kind of hard to um I think it's kind of hard to measure. So I'm not sure where that idea came from, but it is widespread now. Like I think that there's like a it does burn more calories. Well, the thing is that your body adjusts. So if you go from not doing anything to you go from not doing anything to then exercising, like you'll be burning a little bit more, but then your body will recalibrate and it will get accustomed to the activity level that you're doing and you won't burn as much. Yeah, Noah Darkley is basically describing intermittent fasting. If you start not eating for 3 hours before bed and don't have carbs for breakfast, you'll be spending more than half the day in fat burning mode. Yeah, there is apparently some emerging evidence that you have like a fat burning time of the day if you fast. And that is just like, you know, just eating breakfast later or eating dinner earlier kind of thing. I'm on a reverse diet. Donuts, guacamole, bacon burger, onion rings. Dang, that sounds really good. Sounds delicious. At 52, my dad was mad at his weight. He stopped eating when he was no longer hungry versus cleaning his plate. He added more fiber and walked 1 mile per day for a year. Those were his only changes, and he lost 100 pounds. Wow. Oh, at 45. Oh, at 45. Okay. Yeah. All this shit is so complicated, too. By the way, are you lifting weights for muscle too or just cardio? I'm only doing weightlifting. I'm not doing any cardio. Cardio fucking sucks. I think that I want to incorporate cardio on my one day that I don't do weightlifting. But yeah, I'm primarily lifting weights. It's better, it's good for your heart. It's good for your heart to do 150 minutes of cardio per week, like moderate cardio, or 75 minutes of intense cardio per week. It's good for your heart and it lowers your cholesterol and stuff. So I'm not saying that cardio is like bad. It's just fucking boring. Just boring. What's up, Cypation? Welcome in. Yeah, cardio is good for stamina. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely doing weightlifting. Neb, that's why the goal is always that I'll flex. If we get to $100, we've got $5 so far today. If we get to $100, I flex because I'm in the gym enough that I actually think my biceps are growing right now, which is not exactly what you want during a cut, but that's probably because I was not adjusting my food enough before I watched the Course Gazette video. Donations to the GoFundMe will also count toward the donation goal for today. So my family and I are still moving, by the way. We're going to move to the Pacific Northwest over this winter. I'm doing all kinds of planning ahead of time. I'm like, ooh, let me make sure I know, where we're going to live and how we're going to get there and everything. And we're crowdfunding because it's going to be fucking expensive. So if you want to help with that, there are links in the description. Best way to do cardio is a rowing machine and watching Lux on my tablet. Yeah. Cardio and muscle work both increase your metabolism, so burn more calories in the end. That's not how it works, though. Like, okay, The reason that they found this out is that like there are like tribal peoples holy shit. Let me try to find this. God damn it. Does this have the thing that I want it to have in it? There's like a particular tribe that they were studying, and you can watch the Course Gazette video to go in depth on this. But like this particular tribe of people, they're people who have to work for their food. You know, like I think it's still like a hunter, maybe not hunter-gatherer, but like hunter and some amount of farming. The Hadza, okay? The Hadza people. So they are more active. They're like 5 to 10 times more active than people in like a developed country like this. So, but they seem to burn the same amount as a person who's just sitting around all day. So like your body has like a fixed rate of calories that it burns. Maybe it might vary by up to like 200 calories if you're suddenly doing exercise and you didn't used to. But basically, like, even people who are constantly moving all day don't burn more calories than people who sit on their ass all day. Like, that's what this new research is showing. Pftel Cakes, thank you for the tier 2 sub. They said, just passing by to mention how happy I am Luxander and family are headed to PNW. Growing up there was awesome, and I like seeing people move to the place I love. Nice. Hadza is Hadza. I'm looking right now at an article from Harvard Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. Why exercising may not help you lose weight. Yes, thank you, Pftel Cakes. And I hope you enjoy your blue name. Rosie, welcome to the website. Says, I'm not any kind of doctor, but I don't think you should give that much, quote, weight to calorie burning, especially if your info comes from a YouTube vid, even if it's from Cruise Gazette or whatever. As far as I know, calories are not that meaningful measure for your body. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying, that, like, this disproves the idea that activity changes how many calories you burn. And this is not, I mean, Cruise Gazette, like, references other things. So we're looking right now, like, I'm looking right now at a Harvard... it's a transcript from a podcast episode from someone who is researching this. Like, evolutionary biologists are looking into this. So exercise is really healthy for you. It has great benefits, but it does not seem to change how much energy your body uses. If you don't exercise, your body expends that energy on, like, creating inflammation in your body is one of the main things. Yes, blue is such a great color. Unrelated, but I just got back from an anti-racism demonstration in the UK. Totally outnumbered the Fash like 20 to 1. Very pleased. That is so good to hear, Onibaba. Especially because, like, I know that the fascists, like, burned a library and shit. Like, destroyed a bunch of books. So, yeah. It's how you can do a ton of cardio but still keep a lot of fat stores. Yeah, your body doesn't want to let go of your fat. It feels like it needs to keep that until there's a situation where you don't have any food. Which is why you have to eat less in order to burn in order to burn fat. They should study people like that Eric the Electric dude who does those 20,000 calorie challenges and manages to stay skinny from exercising and being strict with his diet the rest of the time. That's crazy. Yeah, I haven't looked into that before. I know, yeah, the situation in the UK is pretty weird right now. You have such a small country that if there are a bunch of weird racist things happening, it's like you're more likely to run into it just because there's like less square footage for you to be walking around on. I keep feeling like I need to burp, and then it's not happening. Excuse me. If you haven't yet, please consider hitting the like button. We're still just kind of in the meandering topics part of the show where we talk about kind of whatever. But yeah, I want to see if we can get to 100 likes today. And of course, it would be great if we got to $100 in donations, but I completely understand that rent is due, or rent was just due. So, understandable if people don't have money, no worries. Ugh. Oh my goodness. I'm so sick of fascists. Why do we have to share a society with these people? Wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to share a society with these people? I literally want to be Bill from The Last of Us. Bill and Frank, where it's like me and my partner on a homestead where like we have, I don't necessarily know if I want to have like an electrified fence with like flamethrowers in the ground, but I'm not saying I am opposed to it. Oh gosh. Apparently, all across the UK, the anti-racism protests are outnumbering the fascists in all the cities the Fash threatened to burn down. That's excellent. That's always good. And you all don't have to worry about the anti-racist protesters getting, like, swatted or whatever by the police. Been posting videos on TikTok a little bit more lately. Just, like, reposting my shorts from YouTube over on TikTok. It's going to take forever to get enough, it's going to take forever to get enough followers on TikTok to be able to monetize that channel. It's wild. I know that not everybody has seen The Last of Us, but it's really good and you should watch it if you have Max. It does sometimes happen there. There's a BLM movement and racist policing concerns, sadly. Yeah, well, at least, like, statistically fewer of your policemen have guns. My new strategy on TikTok is to talk a lot of shit. Apparently it's working well. Good to know. Yeah, my video on TikTok that has done the best recently, I think it was the one that I posted today, actually, because I was talking about how, yeah, like, gender-affirming surgeries are rarely done on minors, but the people who want to limit those also always want to create exceptions so that they can forcibly change intersex babies. We have a small, old-style cabin we want to build that has no technology invented after sliced bread inside it, or used to build it. That was 1928, so we call it 1928 House. There's going to be a series of not booby traps, but definitely paths that will get you lost and onto other people's properties. It's good. It's good. Yeah, I haven't even started thinking about the... For a while, I was looking at houses and land in the PNW, but I just need to focus on the getting a place to live in the first place, and I don't want to buy any place that I am not able to extensively vet in person. So at this point, I'm just like, I need a townhouse to rent. That's what I need. Like a townhouse or something similar. It's only like 5 months, you guys. It's August already. Can you believe it's fucking August already? It's August. The Renaissance Festival is starting soon, so I'm going to be very busy for like a month and a half coming up soon. So yeah, I guess since so many of you are here, coming up soon, I am not going to be doing Sunday streams for about like 7 weeks. So we're probably going to slim down to only the Wednesday streams, but I am still going to be doing the Transatlantic call-in show. So you'll still be able to see me, just a little bit less than usual. Yeah, we're a full week into August right now. Wild. Yeah, I need to finish getting my goddamn costume ready for the Ren Fair. I need to finish my shirt. And then someone made me a headband with horns on it, and I need to get that from them soon so that I can finish putting all the shit on it that I want to put on it. It's not going to be the end of the world if I don't have it ready first weekend, but I am going to be a little bit bummed out. The Ren Fair part of the year, yeah. I was looking and like, I think the ones that happen in the Pacific Northwest are typically in the middle of the summer, which is interesting. Still haven't found a job. It's going to be difficult to move at the end of the year without a job. Yeah, no shit. Absolutely. And then, yeah, you have to find a job in Washington, too. Oh, man. Do you think it's true that it feels like time goes by faster the older you get? So I'm sure it depends on your perspective and, like, how mindful you are. Like, my friend Lee, who is in his 60s, he posted something on Facebook from, like, 2 years ago, he was like, wow, this feels like it was forever ago. And it was 2 years, you know? Like, I'm dealing with a lot of my shit from 2 years ago, and, you know, it feels like somehow forever ago and very recent. So I just think it depends on, like, how mindful you are about time passing. But I have also heard people say that the reason why it's different is that, you know, if you're 10 years old, 1 year is 10% of your total lifespan. Whereas if you're 70, 1 year is like a comparatively much smaller percentage of your total lifespan. So I could see that being a contributing factor. Relative to how long you've been alive, every day is shorter than the last. Yes, yes. And I think when you're a kid and when you're in your 20s, like, you have all these really big emotions, and so everything feels like much longer lasting in the moment, in a way. And you're experiencing things for the first time, as opposed to when you're in your 70s and you probably are mostly experiencing things that you've already experienced. When I see a video from a month ago, it feels like it may as well be a letter from the Civil War. Yeah, and I think the internet changes your perception of things too. Like, yeah, it feels forever ago. Like an internet drama that I dealt with 2 years ago feels like it's fucking ancient. Days drag while the years fly. That is poignant, nobody. Ooh, Kathy has a really interesting contribution. Kathy says, I'm struggling with the whole use of the word weird to go after Trump and Republicans. It feels like a backward step. And Dems in the comments talking about coercive mental health treatment, yay, punitive psychiatry. I'm not sure that I want to comment on the latter part, but I will say, I think the reason why calling the Republicans weird is highly effective. Here's the thing. Fascists want to present themselves as though they are the norm, the status quo, what everybody should aspire to be, right? So if we as a society say, no, actually you're fucking weird and we don't like this and we're rejecting you, we're going to pretend, like, not pretend, but like we're going to orient ourselves in such a way as to make you the outsider. Like, actually, you're weird. And like weird in a bad way, you know? Like you're weird in a way that we don't want to affiliate with. It completely upends their entire ideology and their entire political approach. Because it's like, yeah, but we don't want to be like you, and we don't think society should be like you. So it's like a fundamental undermining of what they try to accomplish. Because that's what they do to us all the time. They're like, ugh, these tranny freaks, and like, ugh, these butt pirates, and like, ew, brown people, you know? That's what they try to do. They are constantly closing the circle. They're like closing in and saying like, yeah, it's normal to be a man and white and straight. And like, this is a high value situation. Like, we want to be the in-group. We're what you should aspire to be. You should aspire to be a CEO. You should aspire to be like all these things. And so I think it's actually like a brilliant fundamental undermining that kind of goes along with, I think Lindsay Ellis had a video a while back about how like the Nazis would make propaganda videos like and movies and stuff that made them look cool and tough. And that one of the things that helped undermine that perception was like comedy movies about the Nazis. You know, like you can't present yourself as like the cool guys if you are being undermined by comedy or by shame or alienation or something. When people go like, no, actually you're weird. This is weird behavior. This is abnormal. And I think this is very powerful. This is very powerful. TERFs do this. TERFs are like, you are freaks and you're weird and it's impossible to empathize with you people. You want to do all this weird, creepy stuff. You're trying to hurt kids, all this. And then for us, and even for, you know, normies, let's like, you know, not people who are not trans and also not transphobic, they're just kind of normal. For those people to look at TERFs and go, yikes, you have some issues. That's weird. That's not normal. That is extremely powerful in undermining fascist ideologies. And that's my humble opinion. I understand that a lot of people have had the word weird directed to them. And like, you know, people will call us freaks and stuff. And it's dismissive. Yeah. Like, it's almost like we don't need to say anything else. Like, you're just being weird. Your ideas are not worth going into. But yeah, sorry. I read something in chat and my brain immediately switched onto that. But yeah, like I understand that it is a term that has been weaponized, but I also think that most people who have been called weird a lot for being goth or being trans or whatever, being really interested in bugs or something, eventually we start to go, yeah, I'm weird and I like that. But that is a different kind of weird. That's like the social status quo attempting to cause us to feel shame about something that we feel is, you know, a genuine part of ourselves, as opposed to wanting Republicans and fascists to feel shame for like being somehow against social cohesion, basically. Like, you want white supremacy, you want social division, I want to look at bugs. Like, and I want to get along with people, you know? Yeah, weird, I think, has already been reclaimed. And now we're turning it back. Yes, there's a difference between being fun weird and creepy weird. JD Vance is creepy weird. Donald Trump is creepy weird. I feel like this is the least of all the things that we could be adjusting our rhetoric around. Like, let's not undermine what is seeming to be the most powerful form of rhetoric. Like, yes, it might be more literally accurate to call them bigots or to call them transphobes or whatever, but they don't care. They do care about being called weird. They don't like it. And I think that, if nothing else, is a good reason to keep it going. The more we make them look like creepy weirdos to general society, the easier it's going to be moving forward. Yeah, weird is also a very tame word compared to what conservatives say about marginalized people. Like, they are not going to be impacted if we just Uno reverse and start calling them groomers. They don't, like, they know that they want to legalize child marriage. That's part of their thing. They don't think that that's inherently bad or weird. Like, but if we just call them weird, it seems to really get under their skin. So that's my case for calling Republicans weird. Conservatives, fascists, you know, point out when they're doing weird, creepy stuff that is not in line with the social cohesion that we're trying to build. I worry about the word being turned back. Hold on. There's a fucking heart in the middle of the screen and I can't read the fucking YouTube chat. Why would you put that there? Okay, yeah, Kathy says, I worry about it being turned back hotter and escalating. They're already escalating! Like, the best thing we can do is make it to where they can't convince regular people. So the more we make them look foolish to regular people, the better we are going to be. The less people are going to vote for them, the fewer people. Thank you, Ryan, for 10 units of currency. I don't know what those are, but says, can't donate to GoFundMe. Good luck. Hi from KSA. Trans Freedom. Indeed. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that donation. Counterpoint, they are just super weird unironically as well. Yeah. They already call us weird and it doesn't stick because we've been proud of being different the entire time. Right. These are the people who used to bully us when we were kids. This is the kind of person that used to bully us when we were kids by calling us weird and freaks and like accusing us of being social, like, outcasts and on the fringe of whatever. But in reality, white supremacists are on the fringe. White supremacists are the weird ones. Anti-trans people are the weird ones. Racists are the weird ones. Normal society should not allow them to be in power. And that's like, that's what we need. Should we be... Yeah, Gecko says we should be calling them gross too. Well, weird seems to be the thing that's actually working. So let's hammer in on that until it stops working. And then we'll see if we need to switch something up. What's up, Somniostatic? Welcome in. My cat is screaming. I might need to torture him. I might have to grab him and bring him to show you. I'll offer him up as a sacrifice. So I am actually gonna... That was perfect, because I haven't discussed this yet. I am gonna clip that as a little tiny segment. What is today? The 7th? 7? Yep. 2024. Weird. And I'll put that in my notes. Yep. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. I spent about 4 years wearing a top hat and bow tie, and I'm so used to being strange, it actually has helped me deal with people and their looks while being a non-passing trans human being. Yeah. I've never particularly been bothered by people thinking that I'm weird. See, that's the thing too, is like we were bothered as children by being called weird. Being socially outcast in that way was difficult for us as children, but most of us as adults, like most of us weirdos, we like it now, or we embrace it now. I am not bothered by being called weird as a 30-year-old adult human. Like, what is wrong with them that they're worried about it? It's because they have never been socially outcast before. They are just now for the first time experiencing what it's like to have someone go, yeah, actually, you're a fucking weirdo. Ooh, yeah, true. Weird works because when you get into more specific terms like bigot, racist, fascist, etc., conservatives will try to weasel out using semantics to escape the accusation. However, weird is a vibe and it either fits or doesn't. Yeah, it's kind of like Abigail Thorne's video where she talks about like the concept of coolness. Like, I guess coolness is the opposite of weirdness in a way. Coolness is a status conferred onto you by the community. And it's vibes based. Let's Play Social Justice. Welcome in. Says, I found you because YouTube recommended me your Zan content after I watched the Demon Mama vids. Liked your take on the situation and saw you were alive. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Don't be a square. Yeah, yeah. That's what's wrong with them. They're squares. Man, that is fundamentally what the problem is. JD Vance is a square. I don't think the word silly has nearly as much power as weird. Silly doesn't imply that, like, you need to stop. Like, I think when you call someone weird, there's an implication that they need to stop. All the shapes in the universe, and you chose a square. Shame. Let me get my bell. I need a bell. I need a shame bell. Man, there are so many props that I would like to have. When I move, I'm gonna some of the stretch goal for the GoFundMe is because I want to get like a motorized sitting standing desk, and I want to get one that's maybe a little bit bigger than my current desk. My current desk is not small, but I want to make sure I have lots of space. Because there's all kinds of props that I could have. I have my penis prop over here. Also, I have a lot of crochet shit on my desk that I probably need to clean up at some point. I have, like, arrow tips on my desk that don't really need to be here. Yeah, I definitely need to do a cleaning my desk moment. I should probably start using the drawers behind me a little bit more. Yeah, silly is like silly goose. Weird is like what the fuck. A bigger desk is always a better desk. If it can be mailed to me, then yeah. I call liberals silly. I think silly fits to liberals a little bit better. Crochet. Okay, sure. My current project that I'm working on is I'm making a wall hanging mandala for my mother-in-law, and it's, like, pretty close to being done. So, yeah, it's gonna be a wall hanging. Hopefully she can put it in her sewing room and look upon it and know that she is loved. She made me this quilt. My mother-in-law did. So I'm trying to finish this mandala before she comes to visit soon. That's my current project. I still have not finished sewing the top of this mushroom onto the bottom of this mushroom so that I can sell it on my goddamn website. And oh, I want to ask your opinion, y'all. I want your opinion, and I need to grab something off screen for a second here. Okay, so I made a giant pet cave, but it kind of collapses. Like, it's a big pet cave, but it doesn't stay up. Like, it'll collapse, right? So it's kind of perfect for a cat that likes to burrow under the covers or something. Do you think someone would buy this if I put it on my my website or something? Like, it's pretty big because I made it thinking, oh, my cat can get into it, but he doesn't fucking care about it at all. So I don't. Do you think someone would buy this? It's genuinely, it's huge. My cat is not into it. He might be into it if it stayed open, but it doesn't stay open. It collapses because it's very heavy. So, like, again, it's good for an animal that likes to burrow under the covers and, like, wiggle in there. Yeah, my cat would probably just sit on it. Yeah. That's kind of what my cat did initially. The skeins of yarn are each, like, $13, but I got them on sale. So I was thinking if I sold that for, like, $40, that would be reasonable. How big is it? I don't know I don't know how to describe how big it is. It's huge. It's big enough for a 17-pound cat. Put it on the floor and put a sheet of paper on it. Yeah. Those naked cats would love it. Yeah. I would buy it if I had money, like right now. Yeah. So I was thinking I'll put that on my merch website. I can also host things that I have, I can post things like individual items for people to purchase. No, my cat loves to sit on paper. Is there no way to make this stiff? Not this particular one. My partner suggested putting a cardboard box inside of it, and I was like, yeah, I guess that would technically work. My baby sleeps on a 33-year-old quilt my grandma made for me. Wow. I can draw you a diagram for you to build a pretty cheap and cat-friendly structure for it. I could have made a different kind. Like, I could have made one that had, like, stiff sides and stuff, but, that particular yarn is just so heavy. It's really thick, heavy yarn, so it would be really warm in there. Cats do be loving cardboard boxes, it's true. Honestly, if there had been more of that particular yarn, I could have likely made a bigger, like, blanket type thing, but that was, like, the project I had in mind for it. But yeah, I mean, it's still good for a cat or a dog that likes to burrow into stuff. Anyway, thank you. I'm sure I will put it up on the website at some point. Ooh, we got a $10 donation to the GoFundMe. So I'm going to add that to the stream goal for today. Thank you so much. Perfect. Could starch the shit out of it. Yeah, but then it would smell like starch. I'm sure there's someone out there who will buy it as is. We'll see. I think I need to take a little quick break. I need to refill my water and go to the bathroom. But I encourage you all to share all of your favorite links about Tim Walls. You can do it in the website chat, or you can join up in the Discord and post it in the stream recommendations channel, but I want to talk about Tim Walls today. What are some of your favorite things he said? What are some good video clips of him? What are some things that you're happy about with his record? And I'm planning to talk about Tim Walls when I get back. Put in some bones like the plastic ribs he used to make a corset. Guys, the thing is that at this point, I would have to take it apart. and rebuild it again in order to put any boning or anything in it. Like, it just is gonna be what it is. But yes, you get yourself a drink too, maybe, if you need to. And yeah, post all of your links about Tim Walz. Anything you want me to talk about with regards to his record, anything, because that's what I want to talk about. Okay? So I'll be back in a minute. Don't go anywhere or I will cry. Okay? I'm back. And I have hydration. True, Mama Mephistopheles. Good night, Super Dr. Hulock. All of our folks over in the UK. Five minutes of Tim Walz being awesome. Not sure if this is stream watchable though. Well, let's find out. Five minutes. This link took me to... Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one. This one is a 27-second video. This one is a YouTube video. 5 minutes and 26 seconds of Tim Walz being awesome. Okay, did anybody post anything in the Discord? Okay, yes, we do have one link from the Discord. I may have to pull up an article so that we can talk about who Tim Walz is in general. Yay, the teacher's putting on a movie. Yeah. My cat is studiously ignoring my house guest. Our cats have always been very interested in our house guests. I mean, that's not entirely true. Lucy was sometimes pretty aloof with our house guests, but our cat Deegan the Mighty was always very interested in what was going on with our house guests. And our cat Mitternacht usually wants to at least kind of say hi. He's the one we have left. We used to have 3 cats. Now we have 1. Which does make it a little bit easier to get a new apartment. Whenever you gotta get a new apartment, it's always good to only have 1 cat. I'm just kind of reviewing what I have today. Yeah, wholesome. He's very wholesome. What is up with this? Whomst is this? Nope. Whomst are you? Oh, this dude has only 80 videos and yet somehow 111,000 subscribers. That's crazy. Yeah, you've been gone for a minute, Ox. Got pulled away just as someone made an astute point about victims of CSA being expected to be psychologically and sexually sane and vanilla with no confusion or substance issues. Yeah. Yeah. Like, crazy that people might make art that expresses some kind of feelings about what they went through, or that they might develop kinks that involve dealing with what they went through. Let me find some Tim Walls stuff on twitter.com. Tampon Tim is circulating. They're so weird. He's really going hard posting like a bunch of family pictures right now. Okay, this is a great quote. What's up, Byron? Good to see you're alive. My dog, quote, had to pee and then immediately went for the frisbee. Uh-huh. They're manipulative. Aaron Reed has done a couple posts lately about walls and how Minnesota is a trans sanctuary state. Yeah. Let's see. I kind of want to. Can we get some dicks in chat real quick? I think that's what I want. I want some dicks in chat right now before we start the segment. Or hypers in chat. Your favorite emoji. Pick your favorite. Spam, please. My humble request for spam. Oh, sad somniostatic. No. What is that one? Hug spin. Yes. I know. Yeah, sorry. Uh, excuse me. Yes, there we go. Okay, there we go. Mitternacht spin. He's a good boy. He's kind of a punk ass bitch sometimes, but you know, we love him. We love him. Okay. What is this hopium that we're experiencing now? I think a lot of us started to feel a lot better about the prospect of this election after Biden dropped out, and it became increasingly obvious that Kamala Harris is going to be the person running for president for the Dems, right? And there was a lot of speculation. We were speculating. Everybody's been speculating. Who's she going to pick as her running mate? Who do we think? You know, all these different names are getting thrown out, and I'm suddenly needing to learn about a bunch of state governors that I didn't previously know anything about. And it's finally landed. And I think a lot of us are much, much happier now. Like a lot of hope. I think previously I was feeling fairly pessimistic about how the election was going to go. I felt like it was a coin toss. It could go either way, or that Biden wasn't going to win. But now I'm feeling much, 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 much more hopeful. And that's because Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, is the running mate. And it seems like he's pretty cool. It seems like he's pretty nifty. So I kind of wanted to talk about him a little bit today, talk about his record. Why do we like him? And maybe like play some videos, seeing him speak, and just kind of get a sense of the vibes, because the vibes have changed dramatically. That's the thing here, is like the vibes have changed dramatically in a very short period of time in ways that I think most of us were not expecting. What is this? What is this feeling that we're having? So obviously Minnesota is a fairly progressive state, given that it is in middle America. We have previously talked about how they created trans sanctuary laws, protecting people who need to go there to escape persecution for being trans. They recently got rid of the trans panic defense, where you're like, oh my God, I murdered someone and you can't prosecute me because I did it because they were trans. You know, weird stuff. Very weird things. So I kind of wanted to just look at, okay, what has Tim Walz done? What are some things that we appreciate about him? What are some things that we like about him? Like, what's his background and everything? So he joined the National Guard at age 17, and he was in the National Guard for like 24 years. And then he worked as a teacher and football coach. While he was a football coach, he also sponsored the school's first gay-straight alliance meeting. And I've heard that he did that specifically because he knew that since he was the football coach, no one would mess with the kids in the GSA. So, like, hardcore. We love him for that. That's good stuff. Like, he's been gay supporting since the 90s. So, what are some of his other things that he's done? So, he grew up in Nebraska. He moved to Minnesota in 1996, at which time he taught high school geography, and his football team won 2 state championships. He then ran for Congress, and he was in Congress. It doesn't say. I think he was in Congress, but I'm assuming he must have been in the House, like the House of Representatives, as opposed to the Senate. So then he ran for governor. During his first gubernatorial term, he worked with the Republicans to create bipartisan achievements, including putting a ton of money in roads and bridges, funds for opioid treatment and prevention, and a middle income tax cut. I think that they've also recently expanded the child tax credit, which is awesome. Oh, yeah. And like, by the way, it was not a popular move to support gay people in the 90s. We were still very much dealing with the whole stigma around AIDS and everything. Like, this was unpopular for him to do at the time. So, very sweet. He won his second term as governor in 2022 by a 52% to 45% margin. At that time, Democrats also flipped the state Senate, which provided him with a unified Democratic control in the legislature. He therefore passed a law classifying abortion as a, quote, fundamental right. He also passed legislation that would basically aim to reduce carbon and go carbon-free energy completely by 2040 or 2050, something like that. There were a couple of different laws, I think, regarding climate protection. He also instituted paid family leave across the state and legalized recreational marijuana. I didn't know about that one. I forgot about that one, or did I not know about it? Anyway, yes, and also signed an executive order safeguarding access to gender-affirming healthcare for transgender residents. So as far as his record, we're pretty pleased at the things that he's done and the issues that he's supported. Oh, wow. He was in the House as the first Democrat to hold that seat in over a century. Wow. So he represented as a Democrat in a previously red district, basically. The right is trying to get him for dropping out of the military after 24 years, right before his, right before Iraq war was declared. But I just saw why. According to this, in fact, the thing that people are saying is, oh yeah, Tim Wells retired because he knew he was going to be deployed to Iraq. However, apparently, Tim submitted his retirement request to the U.S. Army National Guard months prior to notification that his unit would be deployed. His unit was fully staffed and his request was approved. He retired in May 2005. So that is apparently not true. Some people take issue with how he handled the whole George Floyd BLM protests because that was in Minnesota, right? And I will say that there are criticisms to be made there. And there are also questions as to what his like updated opinion is about Gaza, because I believe he made some statements right around like just after October 7 that you know, he condemned Hamas, and I don't think he's really commented much on it since then. So, right, we can't claim that he's, you know, pro ceasefire or anything. That remains to be seen, to be determined. Yeah, 24 years is a long time to be in the National Guard. You would think that you have permission to retire at some point, right? Excuse me. Oh, he was also, one of the things that he also did was signed a bill providing free breakfast and lunch for school children. In a lot of places, it's means tested. You know, the school asks for proof of your, like, how much money your family makes, but he put in this law that provided free school lunch and breakfast for students regardless, I believe, regardless of their status. So this is where that picture that you may have seen is going around comes from. Jesus, that's loud. Sorry about that. He signed the bill and he's surrounded by all these school children. He's like giving them fist bumps and then going in for the hugs. And then he is swarmed by a terror of children who all hug him at the same time. Such granddad energy. Like, such granddad energy. I love the fist bumps. I love that this starts with fist bumps. And then we go in for hugs. And then just absolute swarm. It's heartwarming. It really is heartwarming granddad energy. I think, you know, it's fair to say that, shut up, that we need a sense of normalcy. You know, I don't think Biden feels like a relatable human being. I'm not sure what it is about him. I feel like he's trying desperately to be a relatable human being, but he's not. And so, like, this is something that I do think is a benefit. You know, we were discussing the whole concept of calling conservatives weird earlier. And, like, I think we just need something to feel a little bit normal, a little bit relatable. Like, this guy actually cares about people and actually wants good things for people. When the student protests happened recently about Palestine, he said that they needed to be listened to and taken seriously. Yeah, I didn't know that, but I appreciate that. It just seems like this is the closest to a candidate who actually represents our interests. And I'm like, I'm a leftist. Like, I would say I'm much, much further left than the Democratic Party, right? And this is the closest I've felt to being represented. A guy who wants kids to have access to food so that they can actually learn. Because, spoiler alert, you don't learn when you're hungry. You know, like, you can't actually retain information and learn when you're hungry. So, yeah, wanting to provide for kids. It's good stuff. And another thing that he did for students, which now Republicans are trying to make fun of him for, they're calling him Tampon Tim. It was trending earlier. Hashtag Tampon Tim. And the reason why is because he also either passed legislation or did an executive order. I can't remember which one it was, but he had this policy about providing free menstrual products to students in Minnesota public schools. I assume that's, you know, middle school and high school level, making sure that students have access to these things. That's what's called, I think that this is part of what's called the pink tax, that, or I guess that's more like certain products are just costing more because they're marketed to women, but it's really kind of shitty that people have to pay for tampons and pads when they don't have any control over that part of their body, you know? And sometimes these things are expensive. So yeah, this really shows that they have nothing. They're making fun of him for providing a necessary thing to students who might not otherwise have access to them. Yeah, it's the equivalent of making schools be required to have toilet paper. But I think that they're running with this because it associates him with femininity. It associates him with like a gross womanly thing that no one should have to hear about or something. It's super weird. But the fact that this is the kind of thing that they're criticizing him over, it shows that they don't have any substantive criticisms. Like, they just have to make shit up, basically, or criticize things that are perfectly normal. My understanding is they're mainly mad because he put the tampons in men's bathrooms as well. Yeah, it's still deeply stupid. Like, yeah, guess what? Some men menstruate. They're called transgender men. Do you want a big, beardy trans man going into the women's restroom? I don't think so. I think you would rather they go into the men's room and then be able to access those things. Or what if a guy is getting some tampons for their girlfriend or whatever? Maybe she's having such bad cramps that she can't get up and walk, but she needs someone to bring her something. I don't know. I did see something about Elon making a fake ad of Kamala using an AI voiceover. I haven't actually watched it, but I did hear about it. Oh my god, my voice is so trashed. Have you never put a tampon up your nose for a bloody nose? I mean, you can use tampons to, like, temporarily plug a gunshot wound, you know? Like, they are useful for other reasons. But anyway. Another one of the things that he did is, yeah, so they passed, like, an abortion protection, and he supports the idea of a constitutional amendment to protect abortion rights. And this clip is relevant to that. Excuse me.
Now, look, we're pretty neighborly with Wisconsin. We get our friendly battles, but in Minnesota, just like in Wisconsin, we respect our neighbors and the personal. Now, look, we're pretty neighborly with Wisconsin. We get our friendly battles, but in Minnesota, just like in Wisconsin, we respect our neighbors and the personal choices they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choices for ourselves, because we know there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business. Mind your own damn business. Now look, we're
so normal. What a normal dude. That's like, yeah, I love how he's just presenting everything he does as like, yeah, of course, my position is the obvious default position. Mind your goddamn business. Ah, he's great. He's great. Here's another one. I can't remember what this one is, so we're just gonna watch it.
Who thought this was a real zinger when we were going at it. He said, Governor Walz is in the pocket of organized labor. And I said, that is a damn lie. I am the pocket.
Okay, that was the main thing. Like, because he was a union guy, you know? Like, that's the other thing, too, is like I'm assuming he was in the teachers' union. He's a union supporter. So for them to be like, he's in the pocket of organized labor, and he's like, bitch, I am the pocket. Like, oh, you think I'm being paid to support organized labor? No, bitch, I am organized labor. That's sexy. So Tim Walz is also like the only person running for one of these two offices who hasn't been in who didn't go to law school since like the 90s or something, maybe the 80s. Like Al Gore didn't graduate from law school, but he went to law school. It's like, how much of a relief is it to have a normal human person in one of these offices, like with someone who didn't go to law school, someone who isn't from a privileged background, who didn't like learn, like who basically didn't have to become a lawyer before entering politics. We need more of this. I love the concept of like, this is getting a little bit off track here, but I love the idea of having like a certain amount of types of citizens represented. You know, like if we had like a certain percentage of doctors who served for a period of time, and we had working class people who serve a period of time, you know, because this is the problem with like career politicians. This is the issue that people have, is that these folks often come from backgrounds that are not representative of most of the population, and they're people who don't have expertise in all these different things making decisions, right? Like a bunch of people who don't know anything about medicine making rules about who is allowed access to medicine. It's astounding to hear a Dem on the national level in the general election who isn't afraid of being called a socialist. Right, yeah, what is that? I want to see if I can find that clip. Is it in here? Okay, here it is. Here it is. I found it.
And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. And for one thing,
I don't know why it's so small. I'm sorry. But he's like, one person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. He's basically like, I am a people-focused candidate, and if you want to call me a socialist for that, that looks bad on you. Like, I'm just neighborly. I care about my neighbors. I care about my constituents. And yeah, like, functionally in this country, that is socialism. It's been so demonized. It's so insane that this is allegedly a Christian nation, and yet the concept of taking care of your neighbor is, like, foreign to most people. They'll call every Democrat a socialist. Exactly, it doesn't mean anything. Like, you might as well do the most far left thing you can do, because they're gonna, even if you're like the most milquetoast centrist, they're still gonna call you a communist. They've been calling Biden a communist this entire time. Oh, interesting. The first anarchist/communal orgs in America were Christian churches. Right. If Christians actually followed Christ, they would be socialists. Okay, let me see what else I have about Tim Walz. I'm not going to play the video on this one, but just look at how energized this is, in the sense that, like, there are a ton of people. This was Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, their venue in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Like, just packed with people. Also, wear a goddamn respirator, you fucking morons. But, you know, more importantly, to the point, I mean, not more importantly, but more to the point, this is, like, a lot of hype, a lot of energy, which is exactly what we needed. This is exactly what we were scared that we were not going to get with Biden. Now let's hit the meme. I think this is what any of you who've been on Twitter or on the internet today have seen this, and you're excited for us to talk about it. I'm not sure which venue this was, but jokes were made, and this is something that I want to see more of as well. I don't know. Let's just get right on into it. Hold on. He's talking about JD Vance and the concept of him possibly debating.
Can't wait to debate the guy.
He's like, let me finish. Let me finish my line.
That is if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So.
See what I did there?
So if you haven't caught it, J.D. Vance apparently wrote in like the first version of his autobiography or memoir or something. He wrote basically that it is a rite of passage for any young man who is alienated from all the women in his life to have sex with a couch. So, whether you believe it or not, whether you believe it's true or not, it's a very, very popular meme right now that J.D. Vance is a weird guy who had sex with a couch. Apparently, you take like a rubber glove and you put it between the cushions and then you lube up the inside of the glove. Apparently, that's how it works. So, the state of American politics is so goddamn weird right now. And the look on his face, like he just made the best dad joke anyone's ever heard. Like I love too that like Kamala's face in this, she can see the teleprompter. So she kind of starts reacting to the joke before he actually delivers it. But like, yeah, man, the state of American politics where like Trump is a literal child rapist. Like there are court documents talking about what what he did to a young, it's not even a Jane Doe, I think her actual name is in it. So yeah, Trump, child rapist, and J.D. Vance, couch fucker. That's who the Republicans have. Those are the weirdos that the Republicans have. And this apparently was Tim Walz's first speech. Like this was part of how Kamala announced him as the running mate. And like, yeah, what a hell of a thing to do. Like, yeah, I can't wait to debate this couch fucking guy. So I'm not sure that I have much else on him, really. That was kind of the main stuff that I wanted to hit. That, you know, he seems like a normal human person, family guy. And I'm not saying that there aren't criticisms to be had of, you know, again, him and the way that he handled the George Floyd protests or Kamala, right? Like, she was a top prosecutor, you know, and that's an issue. But like, compared to what we were almost certainly going to get, like these people seem like they are at least on the side of the American people. They're on the side of democracy. They support trans people. Like, we should compare him to Josh Shapiro. Wow, what a terrible fucking name. The other final contender who sucked. I didn't hear much about him except that apparently he wrote an article when he was in college about how Palestinians are like fundamentally incapable of basic human emotions or something. I don't know. I did see an excerpt that was allegedly from the first draft that got sent to the editors of his book. I can't confirm that that was a real. Speaking of J.D. Vance on the couch. Josh Shapiro. You have to say Joshua Shapiro, or it's just like, shh, just not. It's not good. Joshua Shapiro compared student protesters to the KKK, and multiple education organizations came out against him for supporting vouchers. Ooh. Yeah, that like whole vouchers for private schools thing, when like tax dollars are diverted from public schools to help like already rich white families send their kids to private school that they should be paying for 100%. Cute. So yeah, compared to that, you know, we're getting a teacher who has worked with kids, who supported gay kids back in the 90s, and has generally seemed to make decisions that are good for actual human people. I think the point is Vance's book is so unpopular that you could say anything is in there and folks will believe it because he's a weird guy and nobody read his book. Yeah, totally fair. Yep, and a football coach. So we can hope. I think that they are going to win at this point. Like, I just feel that there is a vanishingly small chance at Trump winning, which is vastly different compared to how I was feeling 2 months ago when it seemed like Biden was probably not going to win and Trump was probably going to win. You know? I think we have a good chance. I'm feeling much better. I still think, by the way, that we are not going to do enough on the climate in a short enough period of time to prevent mass starvation, death, and water shortages, which are going to be imminent in the next 30 or so years, maybe 20 years. So it's not like we don't still have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do, especially on the local level, to try to protect resources. There's a reason why I have a community garden right now. There's a reason why I'm moving away from Kansas. And it's not just that everything is shit politically. It's also because, even with these wins, we are going to be facing opposition in a situation where we need like a dictatorial level of just fucking get rid of fossil fuels immediately. That is not going to happen, unfortunately. I know, Trump is so mad that he can't run against Biden. He's doing conspiracy theories. He's pulling out old nicknames. It's very funny. Republicans are in denial that you can just choose not to run your old guy. Now Trump is the oldest candidate for president. He's a little bit younger than Biden, but now that Biden's dropped out, Trump is the oldest candidate for president in the history of this country, I believe. Also, yes, I agree. I'm still figuring... I've been assuming that no matter who wins, there's going to be civil unrest. And I think that if Kamala and Tim Walz win, then the fascists are going to do their coup thing and we're going to have January 6th to Electric Boogaloo. Like, I think that that's going to happen no matter what. But that's just to say that, this is not the end of everything. Voting in 2 months, 3, Jesus, voting in 3 months is not the end of the story. We are going to have to do more to protect ourselves. Trump is old enough to be Harris and Walz's dad. God, yeah, he is. Jesus. Oh. Do we have anything else we should say about Tim Walz? Or shall we call it? January 6-2, Jan 6er is absolutely coming, right? I feel bad about laughing, but yeah. Voting blue in Texas this year, yep. And I was not excited about voting for Biden. I was actually considering voting uncommitted if Biden was the one. And by God, I will vote for Kamala. Even though I don't really think that it's going to make a huge difference in Kansas, it would be a hell of a thing if we managed to flip Kansas purplish. Because when we recently voted to protect abortion rights, that was, a majority. There are like 2.2 million voting age adults in Kansas, and there were about 900,000 who came out to vote for the abortion thing, and that was during August. Like, that was during like the weird time where you don't normally vote. And about 547,000 of us voted to protect abortion. So we could potentially flip things, but I'm not holding my breath. I'm just saying that I'm more enthusiastic about it now than I was before. All you have to do is scare them that Kansas might flip and you suck away money they need elsewhere. Fair enough. I hope Biden's court reforms don't go out the door with him. Yeah, how amazing would it be if Biden was just like, by the way, I'm adding 2 Supreme Court justices. Fuck you! Right before he walks out the door. That would be hilarious. All right, I think I'll go ahead and end that segment there. Put it in my notes. Tim Walz based. All right, that's in the notes. Amazing. We have one last segment planned for today, and it's supposed to be a funny segment, but let's take a breather in between here. Yeah, we told the Kansas State House no and also fuck off, but of course they still tried to override it and closed several polling locations so that now basically each zip code has 1 polling place. Yeah. And we constitutionally don't have the right to vote, according to the Supreme Court of Kansas recently. Senate would not let him so much as replace a dead justice now, much less add new ones, but alas. Yeah, unfortunate. Where's the betting pool for the next January 6th crowd getting a violent response from the feds, I mean? Yeah, you mean instead of just, like, letting them storm the Capitol? Like, that they should have been violently put down last time? We'll fucking see. The feds and the cops seem willing enough when it's Black Lives Matter protesters. Later, Pftel Cakes. Appreciate you. We are still trying to get to the donation goal today of $100. Oh shit, we made it. Okay, someone donated $100 to the GoFundMe a little bit earlier. So that means that we've made it. We've made it. One did die while assaulting the building on camera, and they still made her a martyr. Right? Yeah. Trump didn't even have to die, and they tried to make him a martyr. We've made it to the stream goal. Running a GoFundMe so I can get the fuck out of Kansas. It would be sweet irony for the new presidential immunity ruling to come into play in something like a Biden crackdown on January 6th to Electric Boogaloo. Yeah. Oh, we're taking the hoodie off. The hoodie's coming off. Arg. It's so weird. I've gotten so used to the glasses that it now... it's so hard to look at my computer screen without them. Okay, I'll pick that up again in a minute. Okay, so my progress. I think that it'll start making a bigger difference to how I look when the cut starts to really kick in. And I'm basically just gonna, like, cut hard for the next month and see how that goes. Because, like, there is, like, you know, some looseness in some of these areas, so I think there will be more definition as the cut comes through. And I'm also going to start trying to work out this part of my shoulder, because right now that part of my shoulder is, like, kind of bony and then just goes straight down, and so I want to, like, round that out nicely. So those are the things that I'm working on right now. The guns. When I have my standing desk, I'll actually be able to turn around and show you how big my back has gotten, because, man, my back is definitely growing. Like, the lats right here. Gorge. Can I start gooning yet? That's what this segment is for! That's what it's for. I'm so white. It's like a highly reflective surface. I had put something in Feed the Dragon for when Flex Goal is achieved. I think I saw that, yes. We did Feed the Dragon last stream. Standing desk when? After I move. Standing desks are really, really heavy. And so this desk is like... It's not in good condition. It's gonna fall apart. So we're gonna not bring it with us when we move. It's going to the dumpster. And then when I get there, so this is gonna be the tricky thing, is like we're gonna get there, I'm gonna need to set up my office, but I'm gonna need to order a desk. And I'm gonna get one of the motorized standing sitting desks. That's part of why the GoFundMe is set so high, so that I will have enough money to like replace my furniture and shit. So yeah, it's gonna be both. I'm gonna try to set up the stream background so that it'll work whether I'm standing or sitting. And then, yeah, I'll be able to... Because right now I've got this, like, fucking chair, and I'm like, how do I... You know, I don't know. It's really hard. It's really hard to show off. Yes, I just added lateral raises. I heard that they are way better for the shoulders. So, do a special short of when you have that old desk decommissioned. Like, when I throw it in the dumpster... I mean, I'm probably just going to put it next to the dumpster. Are you going to have a place to garden, or are you looking for an apartment for now? So, in all likelihood, I'm not going to have a place to garden on the property. It sort of depends, but there's a community garden in the place where I'm looking to move to. So right now, I have a community garden plot. That's some of the content that I have on my second channel, is the community garden plot. So I am going to try to get in early enough in the year next year to get a community garden plot as well. Lateral raises are good. I do 3x12 with 22.5 pound dumbbells. Jesus Christ. My shoulders are weaker than fucking shit. I do 8 pounds and I can't even get to 12. Doing lateral raises. Like, I mean, I usually do like 11 and then 10 and then 9 or something like that. Mix in some forward raises. They round out your shoulder engagement and hit your core too. Yeah. I'm going to focus on the laterals for now. And then I also do overhead press. So like they start down here and then they go up. And that works your shoulders and your traps. As a 6'+ person, the day I started slapping together my own desks and workbenches out of plywood and 2x4s was a new era. Yeah, for a stationary desk, I could see that being really beneficial. But I'm trying to do, like, I want to be able to sit sometimes and stand other times, because I work here and it's like, okay, I don't want to be forced to stand all day, but I don't want to be stuck sitting all day either. Just want the option to be able to switch. You don't want to overstress your deltoid, trust me. Yeah. I always try to take it really easy when I'm doing an exercise I've never done before. Like, I don't know that I've ever done something that is specifically shoulder targeting. I've done chest press and overhead press, but those are, like, not heavy on the shoulders at all. I'm currently playing an asteroid mining game, and now I'm wondering if these marvelous guns can be outfitted onto my ship. I don't even need to go to the gun store. I was going to go to the gun store this week, but it just didn't work out. Don't even need to, though. I do chest flies as well for the pecs. The other day I managed to move a pec by itself, but I couldn't do it a second time because my brain hasn't properly learned it. Apparently it's a really difficult muscle to learn how to do, but I don't want to build my chest Like, yes, my chest will get worked in other exercises, but I don't want to specifically build my chest. It's not like I want my titties to look nice, and I feel like having a big chest makes your titties look less nice. I don't know. Just my preference. The real key is don't go to failure with your shoulders like ever. Good to know. I don't go to failure. I go to like, I would fail on the next two, like the next one or two. Why don't you want to go to failure with your shoulders, though? That's really interesting. I haven't heard that before. This is the dumb shit that we talk about on this show. Like, listen, here are the... if you follow me, if you're... like, hi, if you're new here, welcome. If you follow me, the kind of stuff that you're gonna get here is I'm gonna wear off my self-improvement shit onto you. That's what I want. I'm like, dude, I'm in therapy right now. I talk about being in therapy. I talk about what it's like. Rotator cuff injuries. Okay. But yeah, I'm just doing like 8 pounds right now. It's not too bad. Rate of perceived exertion. Interesting. Yeah, but I talk about exercise, I talk about gardening, I talk about the hobbies that I'm getting into. If you are a follower of this show, you will end up wanting, like, Mama Mephistopheles works out because I talk about working out. Am I wrong? Like, that's why you started working out? There are people who started therapy because I talk about therapy and how important it is to take that kind of responsibility in your life. I'm a secret, stealthy self-improvement YouTuber. I'm a leftist, and I'm a heckin' cutie, and I talk about the politics, but guess what? You're also gonna try to take care of yourself, if I have anything to say about it. Yeah. Mama says it's true. Shooting the shit about fitness in this chat was part of what got me lifting. Enjoyers of my muscles should thank Lux. You're welcome, enjoyers of Mama's muscles. Stealth improvement, if you will. Excuse me. You're gonna get me buff one of these days? Listen. I miss running and working out, but I have other health issues to manage before that point. Yeah. It can help. Like, gentle exercise can help get some of your other health issues down. Depends on what kind of health issues. I literally just got my resistant bands out. Do it! I demand. I want to live in a society of people who give a shit about themselves. That's really what I want. I'm not saying I want to live in a society full of, like, buff people or anything. I want to live in a society full of people who give a shit about themselves. Ty Turner convinced me to get a mullet for a little bit. I'm never going to be convinced for a mullet. I'm kind of doing the opposite right now. I mean, the back of my hair is growing out at this point, but like, so I used to have the entire sides and back of my head shaved, but now I only shave the sides and I'm growing out the back. So the back of my hair is like 6 inches long right now. 5-6 inches long. So for a while, it was like pretty short in the back and then really long in the front. Silly. Non-aesthetic witch says, been lurking, but just wanted to note your channel has helped me have a better perspective on fitness as a goal for caring about myself rather than a goal to look good or impress others or whatever. All of these are good goals. Like, all of these things are acceptable. I started working out because I wanted to look good, because I want to be buff. Like, I want to have that aesthetic. And even I'm still doing things specifically that are not necessarily going to benefit me in my day-to-day. Like lateral raises, this is not really going to help me in my actual life, but it is going to make my shoulders look a particular way. But yeah, you should just care about yourself. Like, caring about yourself also includes doing shit that you want to do, you know? I started working out to be less fat. Listen, there is evidence that having extra fat around your organs can be bad for them. So, yeah, like that can be a health thing, that can be an aesthetic thing. It's about your self-actualization. I'm changing my diet a lot right now, and part of that is like because of my cholesterol being high, and also because like it's just going to help me hit my aesthetic goals. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate it. Yes, exercise is also amazing for boosting endorphins and overall sense of well-being. Yeah, even before you start to notice any physical differences, you will start to feel better. Because again, if you're not doing exercise, your body is burning that same amount of calories on inflammation and like making you feel shitty about yourself. I am looking forward to the back of my hair being longer though, so it'll actually pull itself down and stay out of the way. Because right now it kind of like likes to hang out over here. And I'm annoyed by that. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Nice. I quit smoking and it's been a full year without tobacco. Good job. I think it hasn't been a full year since the last time I used nicotine, but something like that. Nicotine is hard to quit, especially if you're around people who still use it. It's so fucking difficult. Oh man, the temptation. Yawn. Oh, goodness. Da, 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 da. My brain is inflamed, thus all the inflammatory thoughts. So many inflammatory thoughts. "10 months since I stopped using nicotine replacement." Hell yeah. I have to quit nicotine soon for E, and I am not hyped. I worked in a vape shop for 4 years. I am 10% nicotine by weight. Yeah, they say it prevents your body from feminizing in the way that you want to, which is unfortunate, because I think a lot of trans girls smoke cigarettes. It's like a particular vibe for some of the girlies, some of the dolls. A lot of the trans girls don't touch nicotine, but they're still smoking. How big is my jug? My jug is 64 ounces. Or about 3 liters? Yeah, like 64 ounces. I hear nicotine temporarily soothes anxiety or something. Yeah, I mean, it kind of does, but then you're dealing with, it kind of increases Ritalin time. No, I don't take Ritalin this late in the day. Are you kidding me? Anarchist Antichrist, thank you so much. It's going to take a minute for that to show up on the screen because it's really slow for those super chats. But thank you for the $10 super chat. It says, I'm a head out now. Thanks for the infotainment for the tail end of the workday and the long drive home. Cheers. Cheers. High five. Salute. Thank you for chilling for a bit. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for your donation. It makes my little world go round. Cigarettes are also a huge comorbidity for deep vein thrombosis, which is a health risk of estrogen. Yep. Smoking is basically not good for you in any capacity. I don't think that vaping really... we don't have evidence that vaping damages your lungs in the same way that smoking does, but yeah. Salud. What language is salud? Is that... It's not German, is it? It always sounds like a funny way to say salad to me. How much longer are you planning to be on? We typically go until 8, and it's almost 7 right now. I'm not sure if I'll do the full hour and 10 minutes, but we'll see. Salud is Swiss. Oh, okay. Salut is French, yeah, but salud with the D. With the D. Anyway. Goofy goober. We do have one more segment planned, and that's going to be talking about how people are transvestigating Dylan Mulvaney, but they're saying, like, I think that her parents transitioned her when she was a kid. So she's female to male to female. Weird shit. Salud is Spanish? It's Spanish? Oh, salud means health, but people usually say it when you sneeze. It's like bless you. Fascinating. Yeah, she's double trans. Thank you so much, Kitty Tick, for the 3 months of tier 3 sub. Oh my god, my chat just decided to load. My thanks to the gifter for my green, but I will for 3 months be purple again. Purple again. What is that? Like $48 something? Like 1 month is 20. 3 months? 48? Winby, hello. I want to be double trans. I know. Mwahaha. Yes, 48. Ahaha, yes. Puts us at 185.67 for today. Hell yeah. If I ever detransition, I won't brand myself as detrans. I'll be double trans. Yeah. That's honestly kind of how I feel with, like, I'm non-binary, and at first I was trying really hard to be masculine, and then I kind of had to gradually reclaim that, like, it's okay for me to be feminine and, like, not identify as a woman and be androgynous on the feminine scale of things. And now I'm like, I'm more trans than I've ever been in my life, but I look really feminine. It's interesting. Good night, mama. Rawr, rawr. Winby, thank you for the tier 2 sub. Says, I've been watching your videos lately. Glad I was able to catch a stream. Hell yeah. Thank you so much. We stream on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Central and on Sundays at 12 p.m. Central. And I'm also on the Transatlantic Call-In Show more than half the time, which is Thursdays, usually in the mid-afternoon. So if you ever want to see me, those are the times. Those are the 3 times I'm live each week. Coming up soon, I'm going to skip the Sunday streams because I have a weekend job coming up, but you'll still be able to see me Wednesdays and Thursdays. Thank you, everybody, so much. Goodness gracious. Oh my god, my jaw. Well, I'm thinking maybe we should start our last segment for today, and then I can rest my voice because for some reason it is just so difficult lately. Do they realize when they say she's double trans, they're literally admitting it is possible to change gender assigned at birth? I'm not sure what they think. I just know that their worldview is never consistent. Yeah, I might have to get some honey at the end of the show. God, if I have to become a tea drinker just so I can get fucking honey into my life. I was wondering if you thought a good idea for the Discord is if there was a room on the server for video essays to talk about organizing their notes or categorizing, comparing, contrasting, or connecting different subjects. Someone in the Discord did recently run like a writing, workshop, I think is what it was. And the, ooh, I actually do have honey sticks. Or did I finally throw them away? I feel like I have some honey sticks. But yeah, someone ran a workshop for writing recently, and there is like the creativity channel, which is I think it's kind of meant to be a place where you can talk about what your project, like what you're in the middle of. I'm really averse to adding more and more and more channels to the server. I don't really like having like a million channels in there. Do I have honey sticks on this cup on my desk? No, that's not the cup. I might have a honey stick. I might have to grab one. These are super old honey sticks. They're so old that they're a bit crystallized. You can eat honey that's crystallized, right? There's nothing wrong with it. It just needs to be warmed up. These are from the Renaissance Festival from like 2 years ago. Wait. It's so weird. There's like a bunch of crystals in there. You can do a regular death tournament between the channels. Call the week. True. Nothing wrong with crystallized honey. And I'm assuming that they're in these little tubes that, like, it doesn't go bad, right? Honey, like, doesn't go bad? Because these are really old. Might need some scissors so that I don't do the bad thing and cut it open with my teeth. Honey evolved as a preservative. I wonder what flavor this is, too, because this is from a place that does, like, flavored honeys. Boil it, mash it, stick it in a stew. True. Okay, where are my scissors? Do I have any? Scissors. Maybe this will help my poor little baby voice. No! Oh no, that piece of plastic is in my keyboard. No! Get out of there. Son of a bitch, I'm gonna have to fucking dig that out later. What flavor is that? Water and air can very slowly cross the plastic barrier, but bacteria and all that are too large to do so. This is like tangy. Is this like a lime flavored one? I'm gonna have to get some more honey sticks at the Renaissance Festival. Yeah, I think this is like... it's honey flavored. Well, it, yeah, there's all kinds of flavored honeys at the booth that I go to. Welcome to the website, though, Lilith. Citrus slaps, I know. I have, I always put lemon in my water. Yeah, there's flavored honey. You can, like, buy clover honey in the store. Yeah, the texture is definitely weird with the, like, crystals. I saw a video essay about this horror novel slash film starring Natalie Portman called Annihilation, and the science of fear was fully reevaluated for me. Always fun. Came over from YouTube. Yeah. I pay slightly less attention to the YouTube chat. It's bourgeois AF, but my favorite is still Hawaiian white honey. Ooh, that sounds really good. I recently got a very tiny jar of sunflower honey, and oh my god, it's so good. It's delicious. I want to raise bees, but I don't think I should try and live where I'm at long term. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to have an apiary, but it's definitely gonna have to wait until I own some land and have moved thousands of miles away from where I live now. Do y'all ever just drink a shot of lime juice for the face zap? I got a bottle of lime juice for beer, Modelo, and I've ended up drinking almost the whole bottle of lime juice. Like, if it's crystallized, is it gonna help my throat in the same way? I'm having to, like, chew it. I love pecan honey. Ooh. I do like pecans. They're delicious. I want to try pecan pie. I don't think I ever had it. It was my mom's favorite, so I never wanted to try it because she sucks ass. Maybe I should make a pecan pie. Maybe I just skip the middleman and make it myself. I think Lilith, that Wynn was saying that she doesn't want to make a life in Indiana. Like, she wants to move, so she doesn't want to start raising bees and then move. You only need about 8 by 4 feet and a fence for bees. They fly up and over everything. Yeah. I want to have enough space that I can have bees and they're not going to be right next to the house and stuff. I like the way Southerns say pecan. Them Southerns. I did almost say pecan pie because I just feel like it's like caramel and caramel is context dependent for me. Like, it's usually if I'm eating the candy, it's caramel, but it's like a caramelized onion or like a caramel apple, you know? So I feel like pecan refers to the nut itself, but then pecan is what you call like the pie. It's really weird how my brain puts things in places. I'm from South Louisiana, and my family always said pecan. I guess it's more of a Tennessee thing to say pecan. I call them pecans to piss everyone off. Carmel is a town in California. Cool. I'm almost past the crystallized part of this honey. In exchange, we saw crawfish when many others say crayfish. I say crawdads. I took one of those quizzes one time that was like, whatever you call stuff, and then we'll figure out regionally where you're from. And it was laser sight. It was like Kansas City, Independence, Missouri, like that area. All of the results that I got back for my regional accent were very true to where I actually grew up. So yeah, I say crawdad. Good night, kitty. Yeah, this was a very yummy honey stick. I hope it wasn't sour because it was, like, bad for some reason. I'll find out later. I think it was sour because it was, like, one of the flavored ones. We said crawdad in Sacramento. It's always so fun. Like, do you say pop or soda or Coke? Voice already sounds less scratchy. Well, let's ruin it by drinking more water. Honey doesn't technically expire. Yeah, it's got like such a high sugar content that nothing can grow in it, right? That's the reason why it is good. Scissors. Hello, Gayfesh. Welcome in. I just ate a honey stick, so... Do I just need to eat a honey stick before stream every time? And then another one, like, halfway through? If anything, you're worried about botulism. I'm very worried about botulism. I have walked out of only the 3rd movie in my review career so far. What movie was it? Excuse me. Honey naturally contains hydrogen peroxide, which keeps it from going off. It's supposed to be like really good for you too, right? Like the immune qualities, the enzymes and stuff. It's supposed to be like, honey is supposed to be incredible for you. It was The Firing Squad, the most amateurish Christian movie I've ever seen. That's impressive. We were just about to start talking about the transvestigation of Dylan Mulvaney. The reverse transvestigation. It's chock full of enzymes and things that form a functioning immune system. I think honey is only a botulism concern to younger kids. Why? Because they're smaller? Like, isn't botulism like a horrendous disease that will dehydrate your cells? Or something like that? Like, it's really bad for you. If it's local raw honey, it can help to reduce allergy responses. That's good to know. Oh my god, my eyeballs. I left before Kevin Sorbo and Cuba Gooding Jr. could even show up in the movie. That's funny. Honey botulism can only affect infants. Oh, is that why babies aren't supposed to have honey? Because I've heard that before. Honey has a ton of benefits, especially if sourced locally. Yeah. So it's been a minute since we've talked about Dylan Mulvaney. I think she's mostly been trying to keep herself out of the spotlight after everything blew up with her working with Bud Light, and she very, very highly publicized her facial feminization surgery. It's almost like it's like not in to talk about Dylan Mulvaney right now. Like, especially in internet years, it feels like it was ages ago. It feels like it was forever and a half ago that we were talking about Dylan Mulvaney. So, I mean, of course, she became famous initially because she was doing her day 3 as a woman thing on TikTok. And it was comedy sketches, but conservatives, of course, didn't really pick up on the fact that it was comedy. And they were like, oh, is this what you think being a woman is? Yeah, it was a crazy time to be on the internet. But the transphobes are still talking about Dylan Mulvaney, even though she has done her best to be like, do not perceive me. I am not here. But it's not what you would think. All right, it's not what you would think. Transvestigation typically is directed toward a person who a person who is presenting themselves to be cisgender, right? And then there's all this speculation that they're really a man. Like, this happens to women a lot, where people are like, oh, her jaw is too wide, or she has a pubic mound, and therefore she's a man, really. In a shocking turn of events, in a strange twist, Dylan Mulvaney is being reverse transvestigated on Facebook groups, apparently. So we're going to take a quick look at this. Apparently, people are saying she must have been born female and then transitioned to male by her parents forcibly, and then she decided to retransition into a female as an adult. So this person has posted a picture of Dylan saying, I see soft female clavicles despite the crazy low body fat, and a female neck on this probable double flipper. Double flipper, that's my new sex porn name. Anyway, brow ridge and a 5 o'clock shadow are easily added via surgery and hormones. Energy from the eyes screams female as well. Thoughts? So they're basically saying, and this is a picture from before Dylan had facial feminization surgery. So they're basically saying this very early transition version of Dylan Mulvaney is a female-born person who was forcibly given testosterone as a child, but that didn't change her enough, so they think she's secretly a female who's just retransitioning. Double flipping. Super weird. This is very strange. Yeah, double flipper invites so many pinball jokes. True. This person says, yeah, possibly F to M to F. There are other body markers to look at as well. For example, the shoulder to hip ratio, the leg and arm length, the way their stride and strut presents itself. Sometimes it is very hard because some children are being transitioned before they hit puberty. And this person says, yes, that is my theory, that she was denied puberty, which kept the hips narrow and the hormones possibly helped grow the limbs long. Like, can you just not accept that this is a person who was born male and decided to transition? Did they do this with Elliot Page too? Did they do a whole, oh, he was born male and the parents forcibly transitioned? It's so strange. They're really not beating the weird accusations, like truly. One of the commenters here says, I wonder if these people will start to cisvestigate openly trans celebrities. Like, that's basically what's happening. Who talks about people like this for real? This, I mean, yes, it is deeply weird to like obsessively look at someone and be like, well, those are female clavicles. Like, what the hell does female clavicles mean? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. And like to be staring studiously and to say that Dylan Mulvaney's brow is like a female when she had her brow reduced during facial feminization surgery. It's like, it's just such a strange thing. I cannot imagine being this obsessive to the point where you're like, I'm gonna break down your appearance and all these tiny little things and I'm gonna nitpick and I'm gonna go, ooh, are you really? But are you actually? Like, why? Why? This is a 45-year-old Grand Reserve $10 million a bottle brain rot. The brain rot is strong. Hormones grow the limbs strong. Like, yeah, the male hormones that she was born with, at like according to your ideology, like, yeah, she was born male. She had male puberty. And she just happens to be a really small person, you know? And I have at times been a little bit concerned that Dylan Mulvaney is so thin that like maybe there was an issue there. But some people are just naturally really thin. It's not a huge deal. Like, imagine being this crazy. Yeah, it's painful. It's painful. Like, all I can do is meme about it. Because, like, what is the purpose of this speculation? Is it to add to the number of detrans people? Is that the purpose? Like, we want to make sure that there's... We need to talk about the... Like, I guess that's what it would be. Dylan would be a detrans person, a detransitioner, if she was assigned female and then, quote, forcibly transitioned to male, which, like, doesn't happen. Nobody forcibly transitions kids. There's no point to doing that. The clicks, I guess this is just like, I mean, I get, yeah, it's a Facebook post, but it could be like a Facebook personality, because you do make money. You can make money at least on Facebook if your page gets enough clicks or whatever. So I could accept that maybe that is a reason for this weirdness. And like Facebook, oh God, the environment over on Facebook is definitely quite strange. The types of stuff that it tries to serve to me, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why do you think I want to see that? Anyway. Yeah, the weirdos keep proving they can't actually tell. They can't ever tell. Ooh, we can always tell. You're transvestigating a trans person who's openly trans. Conspiracies have to evolve or they get boring, especially if they already appeal to weirdly obsessive people. I guess, yeah, you gotta keep it spicy. You gotta keep things interesting. Regular transvestigating is getting boring. I mean, to some extent. Like, they transvestigated Iman Khalif at the Olympics. Like, yeah. You gotta keep things spicy. Turns out most people look like their parents, and hormones decide partly if you look more like your mom or your dad. I feel like I am a strange hybrid that I don't really look strongly like my mom or my dad. I guess with the long hair, I look a little bit more like my mom. With short hair, I did look a lot more like my dad, but I feel like I've managed to escape looking like either of my disappointing parents. Oh, man. Yeah, all these people are saying they want to go postal because since that Bud Light post on Instagram came out, they can't deny that the first thing they thought when they looked at Dylan Mulvaney was, damn, she fine. Yeah. That she can be, I think that maybe that's it. That she can be attractive as a trans woman might be part of why this transvestigation thing is happening. That she, like, they think, oh, she's so small and feminine and relatively attractive. Like, she couldn't possibly have been born male. There has to be a secret third thing. I don't know. They obviously stepped in it at the Olympics, so now they're distracting and reaffirming themselves with a new layer to unravel. They have to go another layer deep. Go in harder. Anyway, goofy people gonna keep being goofy. The weirdos are gonna keep weirding. And I don't know that I have a lot to add to this, except, like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Maybe try being normal for 5 seconds. Be normal challenge 2024 impossible mode for transphobes. Jesus Christ. Dylan Mulvaney in my notes. Well, is there anything else goofy we can talk about? I might be ready to wind it down soon, but I'm prepared to sit here and be a goofy goober with you for at least a little while longer. I don't have anything else planned for today, but we are certainly capable of gabbing for a bit. $5 says 10% of the people transvestigating her are gooning over her and trying to get in the DMs. LDS goofing. Yeah, what was it? What was going on with the Mormon church? I don't really pay much close attention to the Mormons, if we're being totally honest. Something about Hulk Hogan. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Sometimes I wonder how different the US would look if defamation standards were easier to meet. Yeah. Like, why is calling someone a pedo or a groomer not a form of defamation? Why? If you're not up on the LDS doing shit in Fairview, Texas, it's not getting mainstream coverage. Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything about it. I just swapped my crappy office chair with a recliner from the living room I never use. So much more comfy. True. Then again, no one wants to be in the headline. Influencer sues for defamation over being called a pedo, loses. Yeah, no kidding. The LDS are trying to bully a small town into letting them put up a giant ugly temple that would be the biggest building in town. Wow. I'm just seeing what has recently been spoken about on Twitter. I'll post a video in the Discord general. If you want me to cover stuff on stream, post it in stream recommendations. There's a channel specifically for it. We had a spirited discussion in the Discord last night about guns. So we have a dialogue part of the server that is for conversation, like talking about the discourse and everything. And yeah, we had a great conversation about what is effective gun control. Like one of our community members was saying that it wished that Kamala didn't invoke like, oh, we're going to do an assault weapons ban. And then that just started a whole conversation about like, what is an assault weapon? What does a ban entail? And those are very ineffective means of doing gun control. Like that is not common sense gun control because it is just like not effective and not easy to enforce. So we had a really interesting discussion. It was nice. The Mormon temples are both weirdly opulent and hideous in a way that I've never seen in other buildings. Yeah, what is this? Agree, ammo control makes more sense, but at this point that would be harder to enact than gun control. I disagree. I think regulating the purchase of ammunition is probably one of the best things that you can do, and that it would be more feasible than strictly banning any guns. And then, like, you can do maybe, like, you need a license for each one of your guns, and you have to take a class every 5 years to keep your gun license or something. You know, like, there are lots of things we could do. Like, register your gun and pay taxes on it like a car. The temples are like a cheesecake factory. Oh, geez. They are. Okay, what is this?
I have some remarks I'm going to read.
Christ, hold on.
And this is to educate folks on both sides of this issue. I have a little different opinion in some of the things you've heard. So first of all, I want to address the hundreds of Fairview residents who have studied and researched data related to the LDS history of temple building. First, I'm so proud of the hundreds of Fairview residents who have studied and researched data related to the LDS history of temple building. You've kept your focus on the issue at hand. This is a zoning issue, not an issue related to anything to do with the LDS Corporation.
I love how you said the LDS Corporation, because it's like not a church in the same way, right? Like it is, it's a corporation.
Thank you for your signs of strong support as the council works through this issue. I also want to thank those in our surrounding cities, as well as groups and individuals around the country and around the world, and current and former LDS members who have stated their support for the town of Fairview's position on this matter. The issue of revising our zoning ordinance for this proposed building is the biggest crisis that has ever impacted our town. I personally have heard from Fairview folks in every corner of our town, encouraging me and the council to resist this intrusion into the residential area of our town. I'll give you a copy of this if you need it, so you don't need a copy.
Oh, so I think that the main issue is that the LDS is a corporation and they're trying to build a building in the residential part of the town. And basically they're treating it like you're trying to build a business in a residential part of town. It's pretty good. Pretty solid. The Father, the Son, and the corporate entity legally recognized as a person under U.S. law. That's good, Cat. How many shares must I own to be saved, I ask? Are the Mormons not a church anymore? Like, I think, like, they call themselves the Mormon Church, like, or the Church of Latter-day Saints or whatever, but I think that they are incorporated as a business and not like not a nonprofit. I'm not totally sure, though. I'd have to double check into it. Gun insurance would disproportionately affect poor people who would want a gun for self-defense. Yeah, I didn't mean gun insurance. Like a tax to register the gun or something, in the same way that you have a tax to register your car every year. And of course that's going to affect poor people more, but poor people don't have $500 for a gun. Like a halfway decent pistol costs $500, and most poor people don't have that money anyway. So age bans for under 21s. I think if we're going to raise the age for guns to 21, like, then at that point we need to raise the age of majority to 21. Like, we can't have all, like, it's so fucking insane to me that we have, like, you can do porn at age 18, you can join the military at age 18, actually you can join certain parts of the military at age 17, or like the ROTC or whatever. You can sign $100,000 loan to go to college at age 18, but you can't smoke cigarettes until age 8 or age 21. You can't drink alcohol until age 21. Like, we really need some consistency here. These dorks are just being shitty to a small town, and there's a big scandal around the LDS Church basically just bribing city councils to get their stupid, ugly temples built. Yeah, you can go to actual prison at age 18. Like, you're charged as an adult. So, are you a fucking adult or aren't you? It really, really upsets me. Like, are you responsible for yourself or aren't you? I think that currently the law in many places is that you can buy a rifle at age 18, but you can't buy a handgun until age 21. It's like, and that's weird a little bit too, but, you know, in like Europe, they have like, you can drink beer at age 16 and wine at age 18, and then you can drink liquor at age 21 or whatever. Like, there's a tiered system for certain things, and that kind of makes sense. But yeah, like, are you a fucking adult or aren't you? I feel like if at age 18, there's an expectation that you move out of your family's house, that you can do porn, that you can sign huge amounts of debt to go to college, then why the fuck can't you smoke a cigarette? Why the fuck can't you own a gun? You can do a gun in the military, and you can drink on base at the military. It's just really stupid. I used to live in Utah, and the thing I remember was when the state voted for medical marijuana, but the LDS Church blocked it. It's really dumb. Why do they have that much power? Why do they have that much power? It's crazy. Handguns are most responsible for gun deaths and injuries. Yeah, I don't disagree that that's the case. And I think that's part of the problem with campaigning for an assault weapons ban, is that, like, it's like they're scary looking, the big guns, right? But, ooh. Oh, my heart is being a little bit weird. But they're not responsible for the majority of gun deaths. You know, there are so many other things like handguns and stuff are more responsible. Yeah, great question. Why are they building megachurches in these tiny towns? The Nebraska Panhandle has a huge non-denominational thing outside of Scottsbluff. Where do they get the people to attend? Mm. Jiminy Christmas. My hair is like long enough that it keeps me really warm. I think I just got really warm. Yeah, and not to speak of voting. Yeah, on the one hand, the brain is literally still forming the areas responsible for long-term responsibility until age 25. But however, on the other hand, 16-year-olds should have a say in the society they're entering. Yeah, like why are they working and paying taxes and driving a car and stuff, but they can't vote on any of the stuff that's directly affecting them? Oof. Also not price gouging bulletproof vest or pricing handguns around the same price as rifles and shotguns. Yeah, it's very strange. There's like a lot of dumb shit in the conversation around gun control. I also think all the focus on AR-15s is kind of misplaced. It's just a really common gun. That's the only reason why it is, like, used in mass shootings, is because it just happens to be very common. Like, basically everybody who owns a gun has one. But, I mean, it only shoots 223s. Like, a 22 is a squirrel shooter, and a 223 is, like, you know, 0.003 of an inch bigger. It has more firing power than a 22, but, like, as far as guns that can cause a lot of destruction and human suffering, and like, it's just not the culprit. It's like, that's not the problem. They're incredibly modifiable is the issue, though, compared to most guns. Sure. But you can 3D print guns now, you know? And a 3D printer costs way less than a gun. It seems so weird to me, the idea of hunting with an AR-15. Like, maybe it's just an aesthetic thing. I would much rather have a nice, like, a much classier looking gun if I'm going hunting. I have already said this before, but I love the aesthetic of bolt action rifles. Like, I just think they're so cool. I think there's a cultural aspect to why the AR-15 is popular. They're the good guy gun in movies. Yeah, I mean, they look exactly like an M16, which is the gun used in the military, I'm pretty sure. I don't think any of the recent mass shootings with AR-15s have used, like, full auto mods or anything like that, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how we restrict rate of fire beyond, like, we already, like, automatics are already not legal. Like, an automatic is the one where you just you hold the trigger down and it just goes, you know, the classic machine gun sound. But semi-automatic is that it reloads when you release the trigger forward. So, like, you pull and it shoots one, and then you release the trigger forward. Like, most pistols are like that as well. So, yeah, it's like a question of, do you do something to increase the rate of fire? Like, are we going to make it so where every gun doesn't have any automatic function? Like, I don't know. If you love bolt action like I do, I must again point out the SKS. SKS? When I think of bolt action rifles, I'm thinking about, like, The Last of Us, you know? According to Clarence Thomas, bump stocks don't count as full auto modding. Of course. Of course. SKS. Ooh, that's a sexy firearm. Ooh, it's so pretty. See, I love these ones with wood stocks. Ah, it's so pretty. Ah, that's really cool. I did not expect to become this person. This is like, within the last 4 months, I've become this person who's like, ooh. The SKS also has an integrated mag and bayonet, so nothing to lose in the woods. Yeah. Yeah, it's very cute. I like it. It's cute. Place of origin, Soviet Union. Oh, that's fun. What was the gun used in that nightclub that killed so many people? Which one? Do you mean Club Q or Pulse? Because I think I think Pulse had more deaths. So what firearm in Pulse shooting? A Sig Sauer MCX semi-automatic rifle, and then a Glock 17 semi-automatic pistol. 50 deaths, 53 injured by gunfire. Yeah, in the Pulse shooting. Yeah, it was a Sig Sauer MCX semi-automatic and a Glock 17 semi-automatic pistol. The LDS Church investment firm/portfolio, which is acquired from tithes, is 2 times bigger than the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Holy shit. Video game loadout ass gun. Yeah, what does the Sig Sauer look like? Pull it up on Wikipedia. Ugly ass gun. Ew. Ew, why is it so ugly? Why? Why are you so fugly, girl? Damn. This stock is gross. Look at how gross that is. Ugh. Ugh. Gross. We have almost we have almost twice as many likes as we have viewers right now. That's exciting. That's good stuff. Ugly ass gun. My understanding is the MCX is what the Army's new 6.5 rifle is based on. Ugh. That gun looks like something welded together in someone's garage. Like, why, girl? Why? Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all. Well, that's enough goofing. That's enough goofing and gaffing about guns. I might still fancy a trip to the gun store this week, but we'll see. Guns are like 0.5% of my interest, but I love that you and I agree on everything about them, Lux. Yeah. It's certainly a new interest for me. That's the free Unity Asset Store stock rifle of guns, true. Yeah, I agree, Ox. The solution is not making an environment where only the conservatives slandering queer people as groomers are the ones with guns to brandish while everyone else is sitting ducks who get the supposed honor of saying, I'm not stooping to their level by having one of those things, and we have to be better than that. Yeah. Don't want to be in that situation. I'm not keen on being in that situation. So, all right, I'm fucking really warm, so I am going to go and do some more honey in my throat, I think, and turn off this giant photography light that's right in my face. So, thank you all for hanging out. Thanks for chilling, maxing and relaxing. And I plan to see you all on Sunday. Until then, my loves. Oh, if you want to see me on the Transatlantic Call-In Show, I think it's going to be at 4 p.m. Central tomorrow instead of 2 p.m., which is kind of a bummer, but you'll be able to catch me there. And I will see you later.